FM Knoxville, Cumulus Media Stations, broadcasting worldwide from the Budweiser Studios. We are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute. No one really knew what to expect from Kristaps Porzingis in the NBA Finals. The Celtics big man missed the last 10 games heading into the series. Not only did he play, he couldn't miss in Boston's blowout win. All the talk coming into the series was about Luka, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. It's one game, but it could be that Porzingis is the surprise factor that puts the Celtics over the top. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts in month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
Fires the ball down the middle. Jason Swain.
It's time to kick off 3 hours of fair and honest discussions that go beyond the headlines of today's sports news.
And for a Tennessee touchdown.
From the Budweiser Studios of 99.1 The Sports Animal, here are a couple of guys with over 30 years of combined knowledge of Tennessee sports. Here's Josh and Swain.
Good Friday afternoon. Welcome in to Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. We are excited to be with you this afternoon. Excited for the weekend coming up. Tennessee baseball coming up 3 hours from right now. We will lead you into Vol Network coverage coming up at 2:45. John Wilkerson and Vince Ferrara will take over to get you ready for Tennessee and Evansville in the Super Regional as it's kicking off with Florida State and UConn on Tennessee's bracket side. The Super Regional weekend is here. Next to VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain, I'm Josh Ward. We'll be with you again until Vol Network coverage takes over. We are excited to begin the show welcoming on. He's our leadoff hitter. Why don't we go to one of the all-time great hitters in Tennessee baseball history, a VFL and analyst for ESPN. Chris Burke joins us. Chris, appreciate you taking time, especially with a busy schedule ahead of the Super Regional. What do you think of what you've seen from Tennessee baseball to this point, the number one seed nationally going in and a home favorite against Evansville this weekend?
Yeah, good to be with you guys. Man, I mean, hard to argue with anything you've seen from this team. Very consistent, very businesslike. They've weathered some storms throughout the course of the year. They've won in some non-traditional ways, especially on the mound, that I think is pretty fascinating. And, offensively, they're as scary as about any team that college baseball's had to offer in a while. So they got a ton of things going for them, and I expect them to be playing in front of a very, very rowdy home crowd environment. So pretty good to be a Tennessee ball right about now.
Ideally, you want to be the best team at the end of the season. At what point, Chris, did you notice that Tennessee was the best team in the season? Was it before they had the preseason ranking number one, or was it afterwards? When did you know that Tennessee was the best team?
I think when they went and won that series at Kentucky, that's when I really felt like, okay, because if you look at that series, they could have easily won the first game, and then they won the second game pretty handily, and then the third game was, they were down and things weren't going great. Then they ended up, Christian Moore just willed them to victory, but the offense was just relentless. and I thought, wow, that's a pretty loud win to go win that thing on the road. And then to a degree, I mean, they had nothing left to prove, but just even the way they won the SEC tournament, where it was kind of like, I just feel like their position player group is competitive and so talented that, they don't know how to not play to win. They don't know how, there was this kind of vibe that they needed to just pack it in and go back to Knoxville and get ready for the regionals. And those dudes were like, no, we're here. I think we'll win this thing. And I think there was a lot of positives that came out of that with some of the pitching performances, especially from Phillips and Loy, that unfolded throughout that week. And so, I just think anytime you win 9 straight series to finish the SEC schedule, you have a team that has a lot of different ways they can win ball games, and they've just continued to prove that from the SEC tournament through the regional last weekend.
We're talking to Chris Burke, former Tennessee standout VFL analyst with ESPN. What is the focus here over the next few days? As Tennessee's at home, Evansville is an incredible story to be in this position for Tennessee to make sure that it does what it needs to get to Omaha.
What's the focus? Is that the question?
Yeah, what does Tennessee need to focus on this weekend to make sure that it wins this series?
I just think Tennessee needs to make sure they don't try to do too much at the plate. I think the Evansville pitching staff is largely built on spin. They like to spin the ball. They like to slow the ball down. They like to curve the ball, and it's a Tennessee offense that is going to be juiced up playing in front of their home building. They're 2 wins away from going to their 3rd College World Series in 4 years, and they just need to treat each at bat for what it is, which is an opportunity to get a good pitch to hit. And if it doesn't come to pass, trust the next guy to do the job. So I think it's one of those exercises in patience for this Tennessee offense to not allow Evansville to get them to chase. Because I think if they make the Evansville pitching staff throw the ball in the strike zone, I think they're going to have plenty of success offensively.
You've probably never answered this question before, Chris, but what is the main difference between this year's team and the 22 team that everyone thought was going to just walk away and win it, was dominant throughout the season?
Yeah, I haven't answered that question. I would say the biggest difference is this team has not put a bullseye on their own back. There's always a bullseye on your back when you're number 1 national seed. Certainly Tennessee's built themselves into one of the premier programs in the country. So there's naturally a bullseye that comes with that. But that team in 22 played with so much fire and so much swagger that they were so much bigger from an audience standpoint than just the college baseball world that they, I don't think intentionally, I think unintentionally, it just put a bullseye on their own back that got pretty heavy, I think, as the season wore on. And, that team also was – the pitching on that team was, Blade Tidwell, that was only a second-year player and was coming off injury. Dolander, who was a second-year player but first year in the SEC. And then Burns and Beam, who were freshmen. And I think, to be fair to that team, I think their pitching was not nearly at its peak the last month of the season relative to the first 3 months of the season. Whereas if you look at this year's pitching staff, man, they really look rock solid here down the stretch. And so while both teams had incredibly talented offenses, I think this pitching staff, while not as talented as the 22 staff, is performing at a higher level currently.
Chris Burke with us. What do you think about what Tony Vitello, Frank Anderson have done to develop the pitching staff to this point, especially after losing A.J. Russell early in the season?
I mean, it's remarkable. I was there when they decided to go with Stamos as an opener and stick with Causey as kind of the main guy on Friday nights. And to be honest, I think part of the reason, the whole opener thing was just trying to change things up. But I think a big part of sticking with Causey was they didn't have a lot of other options. And so, part of it was done out of necessity. There just wasn't a ton of options in the pitching staff at that point in time. And so Causey has really delivered and he leads the Southeastern Conference, one of the top in the country in wins, and has just pitched so incredibly consistently. And then, Drew's done his thing in game 2. And then, Xander Sechrist, again, I think if they were being honest, in a lot of regards, got the ball out of necessity. He was just kind of the next man up. But the way that he and Nate Snead have handled the lion's share of the innings on game 3, very unique. And so you really can't say enough about the way Tony and Frank have managed the pitching. And, I just think at the end of the day, Frank has proven year in and year out that his pitching staffs throw strikes. That's just all there is to it. And you throw strikes with quality stuff. And I think, honestly, a part of this year's story is I think the defense has played very well. It's not a perfect defense. They've had their moments, but, Blake Burke has become one of the best first basemen in baseball. Christian Moore has become a very good second baseman. Dean Curley's done fantastic. Amix had his moments at third, but for the most part, it's been rock solid. Cal Stark has been incredible behind the plate, and I think Tennessee's outfield defense is as good as anybody's. And that's a big part of the pitching staff story is how well they've defended behind them.
If Tennessee is the best team, and I know Evansville is the biggest threat because it's the team that Tennessee's playing right now, but behind Tennessee, who are some teams that you see could give Tennessee some issues if Tennessee were able to advance to the College World Series?
Well, I think the team they would play first, if chalk holds, which would be Florida State, and they probably have the nastiest arm left in the tournament from a starting pitcher standpoint, Jamie Arnold, and I believe that game's already started. You guys should probably check it out with your third eyeball. Like, Jamie Arnold is going to be a top probably 5 pick in next year's draft. He is nasty. And then Florida State has 2 first-rounders in their lineup, Cam Smith and James Tibbs, that hit back-to-back. So it's a very talented Florida State team that is the number 8 national seed. So if both Tennessee and Florida State advance, they'll play each other first game of College World Series. And then the other 2 teams on their side, again, if chalk holds, would be Virginia and North Carolina. And, man, Virginia that program is made of the right stuff. Like, Virginia is just a rock-solid program with a really talented position player group. If you gave me another choice besides Tennessee's position player group of all the teams left, I'd probably take Virginia's. They're that good. The pitching's not dominant by any means, but, man, they can really play the game. And it's a Virginia team that's been to Omaha 2 the last 3 years. So, I think Tennessee's side of the bracket, if chalk holds in Omaha, will be very interesting. And, if you're a Tennessee baseball fan for a while, West Virginia in their first ever super regional, coached by Randy Mazey, who was our pitching coach with the 2001 team, and they're playing North Carolina. So that's a super regional worth watching because, in my job I'm not supposed to root for teams, but I'm certainly pulling for Coach Mazey. That would be a really neat story.
Chris, last thing, we'll get you out of here. Are you on the call for Florida Clemson? Is that right? And what do you see in that series?
That's right. Yep. Florida Clemson. This Florida team, pretty scary group right now. Like, talk about an uber talented team that nobody wants to see in their home building. But it's a Clemson team that carrying a lot of baggage around with them. They lost 5 straight regionals until last weekend. and they have a knack for late-game heroics. So I expect this to go 3 games. I expect it to be super competitive.
Chris Burke, ESPN analyst. When you check out Clemson, Florida, you'll hear him. Chris, we appreciate you taking time to break things down with Tennessee and the tournament, especially with busy travel schedule and game prep. Thanks for hopping on with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Burke, VFL, Tennessee standout, and ESPN analyst. Appreciate his time. We'll come back. We'll react. Not too much scouting, Swain, because the objective is Evansville. But a little bit of a look ahead. Florida State, UConn playing. Florida State could be Tennessee's opponent, or UConn.
Chris Burke told us to watch the game with our third eye.
Third eye.
Are you telling me not to follow Chris Burke's instructions?
I'm not going to argue against anything Chris Burke said, especially due to him being correct.
Okay.
So we will come back with that, and we'll talk Tennessee football with you this afternoon, SEC and college football, and get you ready for Tennessee-Evansville with the Vol Network taking over at 2:45, right after we finish here on Josh and Swain.
Free on the radio, free on the app, free on our website. You can hear 99.1 The Sports Animal free anytime, anywhere.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
You were so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
But why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have, and then Monday it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Wild Laurel Golf Course on the peaceful side of the Smokies in Townsend is a golfer's dream. Take in the breathtaking views as you play their par 70 18-hole golf course. After your round, relax in their newly renovated clubhouse with a fully stocked pro shop. Wild Laurel has a full-service bar and tavern with craft beer on tap, specialty cocktails, and delicious sandwiches. Like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram. Book your tee times now at wildlaurel.us. Wild Laurel Golf Course in Townsend.
A.G. Hines Company for all your residential or commercial construction needs. For more than 100 years, the best construction companies in East Tennessee have used their building materials. Earlier this year, A.G. Hines was voted Supplier of the Year by the Associated General Contractors of Tennessee. Great-grandfather Albert Hines opened the doors of their downtown Knoxville location in 1920, where the fourth generation of the Hines family, Anna and Jacob, work. And Alex is part of the operation at their other location in the Tri-Cities. A.G. Hines Company, building materials since anyone can remember.
Hi, this is Pat with ProSource Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you have a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me, 865-500-3711. I pay cash and close as quickly as you'd like. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I buy several houses per month and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorced houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is in rough shape and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying these houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 865-500-3711. That's 865-500-3711. That's 865-500-3711 with ProSource Home Buyers.
Hey, this is Chef David Rule. Looking for a barbecue experience like no other? Head on down to Trotter's Barbecue in the heart of historic downtown Sevierville. At Trotter's, we're all about the whole hog. We're talking about slow smoke perfection that's packed with flavor. It's authentic Smoky Mountain barbecue made with locally raised hogs. Open 7 days a week from 11 to 8 in historic downtown Sevierville. Check us out at trottersbbq.com to see our mouth-watering menu. Catering at to-go packs available. Trotter's Whole Hog Barbecue. A taste of the Smoky Mountains in every bite.
All fact, no fluff. Honest, credible sports information from two guys that know the facts. Here's Josh and Swain on The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. We're on YouTube today if you want to watch the show with us. The Sports Animal YouTube channel. Also, at Josh and Swain, we have the video up and running. We have Riley Thomas, the Rye Master, producing for us today. We're with you on both 99.1 The Sports Animal and AM 640 The Sports Monster. However you are tuning into the show today, we appreciate you being with us. Bottom of the first, Florida State already up 2-0 on UConn. FSU on Tennessee's bracket side?
3-0.
Another, is that a solo shot?
Yes. As you were saying it, he hit another home run, or Florida State hit a home run. So 3-0 now, Josh. See,
well,
I helped you this time.
You helped me this time.
Yeah. I got your back,
Teammates stepping up for one another. So you got my back?
I got your back today.
Everybody's got their back.
Today, I guess. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If Tennessee's able to advance through this super regional, when that happens, Swain, my guess is they'll play Florida State. I don't like the Huskies in this matchup.
It's looking rough for them right now.
Yep. So where's Dan Hurley? Get him down to Tallahassee.
He needs to coach.
That's going to be a red eye from L.A., by the way, because he's supposed to meet with the Lakers today. So we'll continue to monitor because that is on the other side for Tennessee as the Vols get ready for Evansville at 3 o'clock. ESPN2 on television. And here on your radio dial.
Oh, UConn, their fans were talking about Omaha too much. Obviously, that has had an impact in how they perform. They're performing right now in the first inning.
That'd be my guess. Yeah.
It's fans' fault. Too much conversation about Omaha.
Mm-hmm. So let that be a lesson to you, Swain. Dressed for Omaha today here on Josh and Swain.
What did I tell you yesterday? I told you yesterday that I'm going to wear the same thing. And I have the same outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
A little different. I smell good. There's no major stains. So I just put the same thing on. Let's go. This is my Omaha outfit.
Did you catch the inclusion, major stains? No major stains. That would affect conversation today. No,
the food yesterday was good. So
I think I have some – I'm going through some withdrawals right now. This time yesterday we were at Blue Stem Hollow in Greenback having a great time, enjoying some burger and beef burrito action from Chef Robert.
Yeah, it
was good.
What was that? A beef bratwurst. That was fantastic. So, no major stains on the jersey. So, run it back. Wear it again today.
Tina
Omaha
messaged
outfit.
the show. We appreciate her support. She said, "Swain's saving those cookies for you for your birthday, right?" You need me to tell her, or you want to?
I got 2.
Okay.
It was important for the host to sample the food to be able to tell the people if it's good or not.
Yep.
So I did that with one of the cookies. It was a cranberry white chocolate cookie. I got a s'mores cookie. I took that home. I didn't touch that. I gave that to wife and kids.
Oh, that's good.
Basically a wife.
Yeah, right. Rebecca in the YouTube chat. Swain looking good in that baseball jersey today.
Omaha ready.
Giving his all for the Vols today.
I'm ready, man. I'm fired up for the game.
Yeah, I'm excited for Knoxville. Big time for Tennessee here. 2 wins away, trying to get to Omaha. A lot of big things happening. Got the Louisville home and home announced in basketball.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to.
Good news, though. Hold on. Before you go basketball, good news. On my way here, I did not see an Indiana driver with a Evansville license plate get in my way.
That's good.
On the way to work today.
A week ago, you had an issue with Southern Miss driver.
Southern Miss driver with a Mississippi State or Mississippi tag was slow poking when the light was green at the light, and was getting on my nerves. Didn't have that happen today, so we're good. But I'm ready to get home. I know they won't be on the road after the show because that's when the game will be starting.
Afternoon start, 3 o'clock. Better be locked in.
This team will be locked in.
I don't imagine that the focus, the lock-in work mindset will be there at 3 o'clock this afternoon in Knoxville. 3 o'clock on a Friday with the Vols playing.
It's gonna be it's gonna be at a whole nother level.
Time to call it a week.
Oh yeah, it was time 25 minutes ago actually, but I did find it interesting when you asked Chris Burke, like, what does Tennessee have to do to be able to advance? And I thought he was going to start laughing because I think he had a moment where he was like, yo, Tennessee's better. But Chris, being the professional that he is, he's on ESPN. He does the college baseball analysis during the game. He had to give you a real answer. And the real answer was, don't try to kill every ball up there. You're not going to get a lot of heat from Purple Aces, but you got to have patience. And if you don't get the hit, the next guy behind you can get the hit. So patience was what stood out to me, because when you're playing a team like Evansville and you're hitting the way that you're hitting at home, you may have the tendency to try to crush everything that you see.
FSU's going to have a chance to crush UConn. They're in the top of the second. Seminoles up 3-0 on UConn. First game of the day. Tennessee will play the second one at 3 o'clock. The Vols at home against Evansville to begin the Super Regional. We'll continue the conversation on the show with a little football when we come back. Barrett Sallee will hop on. We'll get you ready for the Super Regional this afternoon, leading into Vol Network coverage at 2:45 as we continue on Josh and Swain.
Johnson, I've been reading about this geofencing. Know anything about it?
Yeah, boss. We use geofencing through Cumulus Digital to help drive our sales.
How does it work?
We pick precise locations, and whenever a customer enters that location, they see our ads.
That's what I thought.
CumulusDigital.com. The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on the Sports Animal.
Tennessee baseball officially kicks off the Super Regionals this afternoon against Evansville. Chris Stamos will be on the mound for the Vols versus Kenton Deverman for the Purple Aces. First pitch is at 3 o'clock with coverage beginning right here at 2:45 with the leadoff man. Other college baseball Super Regionals currently over on ESPN. Florida State currently leads UConn 3-0 in the top of the second. Later today at 6 o'clock, West Virginia takes on North Carolina. And later at 7, Kansas State takes on Virginia. In Major League Baseball tonight, the Braves will take on the Nationals at 6:45. The Dodgers will take on the Yankees at 7:05. And the Cubs will face the Reds. Pitch is just after 7 o'clock. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. I'm Riley Thomas.
Fellas, it's time to get your levels checked. Why? Because you know you've been feeling different. You're feeling tired, lack of motivation and drive. There's some weight gain, maybe a loss of muscle mass. Well, the first thing we have to do is get those testosterone levels checked. And you can do that at Low T Centers. Very simple, very easy because of their on-site lab. When you do that, you're going to get your results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not your typical doctor's office. It is concierge medicine for men. Their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized treatment for each patient. The experts there at Low T Center have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results, and most health insurance is accepted for treatment. They have convenient treatment options, which includes physician-monitored self-inject treatments. This is my favorite. It's for established patients that ship directly to your home each and every month without the need to come in for those weekly visits. At Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T-level tested. Results come back to you in about 25 minutes. So let's get you feeling like you again, your best. Go to the website, lowtcenter.com, to book your appointment online today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Playing golf is best when you're playing on a fun course at a fantastic price. That's Whittle Springs Golf Course. Always one of East Tennessee's best values. Whittle Springs is the perfect place for golfers of all skill levels, from beginners to scratch golfers. And once again, Whittle Springs will be home with the Knoxville City Amateur Tournament, June 14th through the 16th. Registration is now open, so call Whittle Springs at 865-525-1022 to sign up. Book your tee time at golfwhittlesprings.com or download the app and receive $10 off your next round.
RY 200 purchase price 19,829, Ultima RN 399,573, purchase price 23,621, 0% financing on select models, take thousands off MSRP and 4533. All offers with approved credit can combine offers. Number one dealer based on 23 Nissan RDR.
You're gonna drive to Oak Ridge Nissan.
Hey, Tennessee, Scott Gropp for your #1 volume Nissan dealer in East Tennessee, Oak Ridge Nissan. And after a Mondo May, it's time for our sizzling summer sale. Get into a brand new Nissan Sentra for $19,829, or Nissan Altima starting at $23,621. Or how about interest rates as low as 0% APR? And remember, if you've got a trade, you've got it made. Trade values are off the charts. Get up to $8,000 over Kelly Blue Book so we can pay it off no matter what you owe. Woo! Now that's hot. So why does everybody make that 10-minute drive? It's simple. At Oak Ridge Nissan, you get more for your trade-in and pay less for your new Nissan and save thousands of dollars. It's no wonder Oak Ridge Nissan is smoking the competition like a Havana. And that's why
you're gonna drive to Oak Ridge Nissan.
It's officially summer break, yes! And having fun outdoors means, well, tracking more dirt in your home. That's why I suggest calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning to keep your home insanely clean. You know, you can act fast and take advantage of their summer sale for 15% off all cleaning services. That's carpets, that's air ducts, upholstery, area rugs, all 15% off, but it's only for a limited time. That's why you got to mention me, Tyler Ivins of the Sports Animal, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Promo code SUMMERSELL when scheduling online. That's at ZeroResKnoxville.com.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Highs are near 82 degrees this afternoon with a whole lot of sunshine. We got that lower humidity, so it's feeling much better out there. That lower humidity allows temperatures to drop back into about those upper 50s by Saturday morning, back into lower 80s with a stray rain chance Saturday afternoon. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paige Noel.
Leonard Truck Accessories, the largest accessories dealer in the Southeast. Stocking brands like Real Truck, UWS, WeatherGuard, Lear, Carry-On Trailers, and more. Cover your entire fleet or personal ride. Leonard, your truck, your style. Visit online at LeonardUSA.com. Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts and month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. You're listening to Josh and Swain on 99.1, the Sports Animal.
This is Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. We'll get back to Tennessee baseball talk with the Super Regional beginning this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Ball Network coverage starting right here on the Sports Animal at 2:45. AM 640, the Sports Monster. The same with you until 2:45. Right now, we get to some football conversation. Barrett Salee joins us. He has the College Football Smothered and Covered show that you can check out on SiriusXM. And also, keeping up with the Braves for the Braves Report. Barrett, we appreciate the time as always. We get the Football Power Index update this week from ESPN. What stood out when you looked over some of the updated rankings and projections for this upcoming season with the ESPN FPI?
Well, I mean, the first thing was that Oregon is number 2. I'm not the biggest Dylan Gabriel guy, and I like Dan Lanning. I think that he can do a great job there, has done a great job there, built that program from the inside out, both administratively and on the field, and all that stuff. But number 2 in the country, that surprised me a little bit. I think that somewhere around 4 or 5, makes a little bit more sense. Ole Miss at 16 was bizarre to me. I think myself, I think, and I think a lot of other people believe that they'll be a college football playoff contender and preseason top 5, top 6, top 7 team. So, yeah, I mean, that jumped out to me. And then USC being in there at all, much less being at 18, was surprising. And then Auburn at 19. I'm like, did the computer watch Peyton Thorne? Because apparently it didn't.
Tennessee's number 9, which was 5th in the SEC, right behind Oklahoma, just ahead of Missouri, a few spots ahead of LSU. What do you think about Tennessee's position, maybe from a national standpoint as well as compared to other SEC schools?
I'm fine with Tennessee and Missouri kind of being clumped together, 9, 10, 11, 12, like wherever they're going to be. I'm fine with that. I'm not okay with Oklahoma being in the top 10. Jackson Arnold, to me, is – we like the small little dose we've seen of him, but that was in the Big 12. That was in a bowl game. We all know the Joe Milton effect. I don't think that Jackson Arnold's Joe Milton, but it's still something that, you sort of have to put in perspective. It's different than with Nico Iamaleava. They know what to expect in the SEC. Oklahoma doesn't. Nobody at Oklahoma expects knows what to expect in the SEC. So that to me was what jumped out. So I think that if you want to put Tennessee and Missouri together, 11-12, that's fine. But having them ahead of Ole Miss and inside the top 10 is just beyond me. I think Tennessee and Missouri should be behind Alabama and Georgia and Ole Miss. But, I mean, that Oklahoma thing, man, I don't get that at all.
Barry, when you have an offensive line that's returning like Tennessee, a defensive line that's returning like Tennessee, coming off a dominant bowl win, I'm normally used to a team in the SEC getting a little bit of a higher ranking than number 9. Am I off base there? I mean, I'm fine with being number 9. I don't care if we're lower, honestly, in the preseason. But normally we see teams that have the fronts coming back ranked a little bit higher in the SEC coming off a bowl win.
I agree with you, and I'm surprised that the computer didn't recognize that. But, again, the quarterback situation, if you're – I don't know how these computer programs are built, but I would imagine that there's more weight on the quarterback than other positions. So, to me, it's sort of like with Jackson Arnold. Like, do you trust Nico? I do, but – I don't know if what the computer spits out, how much that value is. But no, I agree with you though. If you have a lot of talent on both lines of scrimmage, then generally speaking, you're going to be okay. And I do think that Tennessee. Look, again, like Tennessee being 9, 10, 11, 12. To me, that is showing that respect, honestly, because it's earned. I think that the success that Josh Heupel has had is starting to make a lot of people believers in more ways than one. And, having Pierce and that crew back on the defensive front is, look, you got to create havoc, and Tennessee can do that.
Barrett Sallee is with us. College football smothered and covered. We got the official start times, broadcast schedule with the playoff, as well as the bowl schedule for the upcoming year. Anything stand out when you saw that?
I'm just so happy the Hawaii Bowl is back in its rightful place on Christmas Eve. Those of us with kids know how fantastic it is to get the kids to bed, put together Christmas toys, have a whiskey or 2 or 10, and watch the Hawaii Bowl. It's the way it's meant to be. And then the other thing that jumped out to me too is, Army-Navy doesn't have its solo spot now. And at first I was shocked by that. I was like, nah, that's not good. But then when you see like that the Celebration Bowl, which is the HBCU National Championship, is going to basically lead into the pomp and circumstance of the Army-Navy game. Granted, it's on a different network. And then you're going to flip back over to ESPN to watch the Heisman ceremony. And then you're going to have the Camellia Bowl after that. It's a great day of football. And it's different than what we've had in the years past when you have like an FCS playoff game at noon and you have like Pony Excess or another 30 for 30 after the Heisman ceremony. That's fine too. But initially I was kind of upset and shocked that Army-Navy was going to be, sort of lumped in with another sort of normal day of college football. But then you think about it, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. This is a celebration of the sport in a variety of different ways, and I'm okay with that.
What's understood doesn't have to be said, but I saw a tweet from you reminding people that more bowl games, the better. Are there people out here, Barrett, that feel differently?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
And we call them crazy people. And, like, it's so funny because there are multiple different ways that people criticize. Like, oh, they're participation trophies. No, they're not. Like, nobody – like, they're just bowl games. They're engineered to be exciting. Like, literally the affiliations are engineered to make them exciting games. And if you don't want to watch on a random Tuesday, don't watch. A lot of people do. The reason that ESPN owns, like, a third of them is because they draw very well. And they're not participation trophies. They're just fun games that exist for people to bet on or spend a nice evening on a cold Tuesday night watching. And then the next thing is like, well, Barrett, you're anti-playoff expansion. How could you say the more bowls, the better? It's like, well, those are two completely different conversations. We're not saying that a mid-tier MAC team that makes the Quick Lane Bowl is worthy of a national championship. They're just worthy of playing another team that's comparable to them for our entertainment. And that's their TV shows. That's all. So, yeah, people that say there are too many bowls, I consider them crazy people. And they are out there. They are walking amongst us, Swain, which is kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah, I thought more football, the better.
That seems pretty easy, yes.
Barrett,
especially when they're designed to be good, right? Like the conference affiliations exist for them to be really good games. So I don't know. I don't know what those people are thinking.
I think watching a human-sized Pop-Tart go down into the toaster to then be eaten by a winning football team should have ended any kind of debate whether we have too many bowl games. We need more of that.
I agree.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be when mayonnaise got poured on Shane Beamer's head, but yes, the Pop-Tart should have sealed the deal.
Hey, Barrett, how can college football fans, Braves fans, find you with the different coverage you have?
Yeah, you can follow the show, subscribe, College Football Smothered and Covered. You can just search for it, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. So College Football Smothered and Covered. And then the Braves Report from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, that's on Apple and Spotify as well. We do 3 shows a week and kind of hopeful. Today's episode, we kind of bring back the hope, at least whether it's legit and reasonable or not. We try to bring positivity to Braves Report listeners today.
Yeah, important weekend, it feels like, coming up. Barrett Sallee joins us each week. We appreciate the time. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, y'all. See you.
Barrett Sallee joins us right here on the Stanley Fencing and Gates Hotline.
No, bowl games are not participation trophies because you don't get a trophy unless you win. But they do make you feel better about having the opportunity to win your last game and have that kind of championship feeling.
Yeah, we got to find something to complain about with everything.
I don't get it. I do not get it.
I can't turn on ESPN or ESPN2 in December and see a football game on and think, I wish this weren't on the television.
It's a cycle. People that do that then complain about it not being football on when football season is over.
Right.
So how about we try something different this year and just be thankful that you're watching football. Doesn't matter what kind of game it is or what the name of the bowl is. Who cares if it's a silly name? You're watching competitive college football. Enjoy it because there's a small window each year that you have an opportunity to do that.
Complain about not having something. getting it and complain about having it.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Sounds like my 2-year-old with her cup of milk. I want it. Here it is. I don't want it. Florida State wanted more runs. Got them 5-0 now in the bottom of the second against UConn in the Super Regional. That would be Tennessee's matchup, the winner of that series, if the Vols get through Evansville this weekend. We'll continue the conversation. Disrespect for one of Tennessee's opponents in the upcoming football season. We'll address that coming up. 865-656-9900 for you to join us, calling or texting in on Josh and Swain.
Listening to us on the air. Free. Listening on the app. Free. Listening on our website. Free. No subscription required. Just free sports talk.
That's the ball game. Tennessee has swept the field in the Knoxville Regional. Tennessee says hello win column. Tennessee says hello Knoxville Regional title. And Tennessee is going to be eating good in the neighborhood as the Volunteers will stay home to host the Super Regional. The final score, Tennessee 12, Southern Miss 3. This is Tennessee baseball.
Your station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 99.1, the sports animal.
Wilson Brothers Plumbing, local company that is dedicated to upholding a standard of excellence in every aspect of their work, and I've witnessed that firsthand. We've had Wilson Brothers Plumbing at our home, helping us with a plumbing issue, an underground leak that we had a little more than a year ago. We had Wilson Brothers Plumbing come out. We knew that there was a problem. They assessed the situation, told us what was happening. It was what we thought was happening, and then they told us, here's what we will do to fix it. They did that. They gave us an upfront price. We knew ahead of time what the cost would be. It was a very fair price, and they made sure the job was taken care of. From the beginning of the process, identifying what was going on, to the end of the process, completing the job, clean up, all of that, we had a wonderful experience with what we needed from Wilson Brothers Plumbing. They have a commitment to quality craftsmanship, precision, and professionalism. And I can tell you from personal experience that is the case. Visit WilsonBrothersPlumbing.com to learn more or to schedule service. That's WilsonBrothersPlumbing.com. Wilson Brothers, the proof is in the plumbing.
This has been a paid announcement.
Hey, this is Chef David Rule. Looking for a barbecue experience like no other? Head on down to Trotter's Barbecue in the heart of historic downtown Sevierville. At Trotter's, we're all about the whole hog. We're talking about slow smoke perfection that's packed with flavor. It's authentic Smoky Mountain barbecue made with locally raised hogs. Open 7 days a week from 11 to 8 in historic downtown Sevierville. Check us out at trottersbbq.com to see our mouthwatering menu. Catering at to-go packs available. Trotter's Whole Hog Barbecue. A taste of the Smoky Mountains in every bite.
Join the team at the YMCA of East Tennessee, where work is play. Whether you love sports, fitness, swimming, or working with kids, bring your passion to their mission at the Y. Positions include opportunity for benefits, including insurance, paid time off, a free Y membership, and a $500 sign-on bonus. From part-time jobs to lifelong careers, your work at the Y will help strengthen the foundations of our community. Apply online at ymcaknoxville.org/careers. Experience the beauty and serenity of Woodlake Golf and Lodge in Tazewell. This par 72 championship golf course that Golf Digest called one of America's best courses. Woodlake's course features bentgrass greens, Bermuda fairways, and several picturesque holes. Woodlake also offers lodging, dining, swimming pool, tennis court, fitness center, as well as boating and guided fishing tours on adjacent Norris Lake. Consider this your invitation to come for a visit. We think you'll come back for the ultimate golfing experience. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for upcoming events.
This is John, and I'm with Whitney, co-owner of Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, voted Knoxville's best plumber 7 years in a row. So I hear you're offering another new plumbing special this month. Tell us about that, Whitney.
We are, John. People are really focusing more on their health these days, which is why we are offering a free whole home water filter with purchase of a new water heater, including tankless or tank style. If you need a new water heater but money is tight these days, we also offer 0% financing and no payment for 12 months with credit approval.
I bet the water filter saves money when you aren't constantly buying bottled water.
Absolutely. But in addition to saving money, purified water is better for your body inside and out, for your skin and your hair, your laundry, and your plumbing system. The works. Just call Pipe Wrench today to schedule a visit for a free estimate, and we can give you all the details.
Sounds great. Call Pipe Wrench 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com.
Come join members of Springdale Baptist Church, New Tazewell, in the journey to rebuild the church lost to fire on June 1st. On Saturday, June 8th, the benefit cruise is open to all motorcyclists and any vehicles. No registration is required. The ride begins in Maynardville at the Food City on Highway 33 and ends in Morristown at the Texas Roadhouse, who will be donating 10% of their sales between 11 and 4 to Springdale Baptist Church. All you need to do is show up at 11 on Saturday at the Food City in Maynardville.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetQL. Chris Sale takes the mound tonight as the Braves look to make it 2 straight wins over the Nationals in D.C. Sale is 8-1 on the year with an ERA just over 3. The Braves grabbed game 1 of this series on Thursday with a 5-2 win over Washington. Now, the money line is too juicy at minus 200, but the BetQL model still loves the Braves on the run line. With Sale on the mound and the Nationals just 10-17 at home this season, the 5-star best bet is to grab the Braves on the run line over the Nats. Bet smarter and beat the books with BetQL and download the BetMGM.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Budweiser studios of The Sports Animal, we are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Josh and Swain. Chris in Farragut texted to us, best bowl game I've ever seen was East Carolina versus Marshall in the GMAC Bowl. Didn't know the two quarterbacks would end up being teammates with the Jaguars a few years later. David Garrard and Byron Leftwich. Both ended up playing a lot as well. 61-54. He says was the final score in double OT. You never know when you're going to get that kind of game.
You never know, man. You never know.
Talking about bowl games last segment.
It's more football. Be happy. If you don't want to watch, I get it. But to complain about it, I don't understand that.
Yeah, just turn the channel. Watch something else.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't get that.
Pull up a Josh and Swain podcast.
That's probably the best idea.
Disrespect for Oklahoma. Last segment. I say that because Barrett Sallee called out the Sooners being number 8 in the ESPN FPI, the Football Power Index that came out earlier this week, on National Oklahoma Day. Today's National Oklahoma Day. Disrespect of the Sooners.
I was kind of like Barrett, tone it down, sir. They're on our schedule. But then I said, like Lee Corso, forget it. That's Josh Heupel's old team.
Yep.
I know he'll be ready to go.
September 21st, Tennessee and Oklahoma will open SEC play. That will be the SEC debut for the Sooners. Our big question is Oklahoma's offensive line. That looks like a big question mark going in. A big strength for Tennessee is the Vols' defensive line.
This defensive line better handle business. No excuse. No excuse at all. You got veteran experience. You got arguably the best defensive line coach in the country. You're going up against an offense every single day that tests your endurance. So you should be in better shape than the opposing team's defensive line. You should be in better shape than the opposing team's offensive line. There's no excuse at all why this defensive line should not be dominant.
Nobody at Tennessee is going to disagree with you. Tennessee's coaches, Tennessee's players, they've said the same thing.
No excuse. I mean, should just wreck teams and take over games at times. I'm not sitting here saying you got to dominate every single game, and that's what I'm expecting, even though I would love that. That's hard to expect because you have to take into account the opponents that you play, and they're going to have a game plan. James Pierce at times was unstoppable. There were times when he was stoppable. Well, that's credit to the opposing team for game planning. James Pierce knowing his moves and now forcing James Pierce that we're in the offseason to work on a secondary move, to work on a third move, to work on different counters as he goes from his sophomore year to his junior year. But I do expect times when Tennessee is affecting the game on the defensive line.
Tennessee will play Oklahoma Week 4. That will be the second Power 4 opponent for Tennessee. The Vols will play NC State in Charlotte Week 2. They'll have Chattanooga and Kent State Weeks 1 and 3. UT Chattanooga for the Vols to open up the season.
That's how you say it.
Oklahoma's schedule leading up to hosting Tennessee and Norman, Temple, Houston, and Tulane.
UT Chattanooga. That game is going to mean a little something for the Swain household as VFL Travis Smith's oldest son, C.J. Smith from West High School, will be a freshman on the UTC football team this fall.
All right. A little VFL flavor for the Mocs.
I was talking to Travis Tuesday. I said, man, that's going to be a weird feeling for you. You played at Tennessee, but your son is playing at Chattanooga, and Chattanooga's playing at Tennessee. I know he's going to be rooting for his son, but your heart is where you played. So that's going to be a weird experience for him. But I'm happy for that family.
That's going to be one where you can at least know the outcome going in, so you can individually pull for your son and then be happy for the team that has the success it likely will.
What do you say if son comes in and says, hey, Dad, how you like our chances? What do you think we're going to do? You think we're going to win, Dad? What do you do there?
You give it to him straight.
All right.
Because at worst, you're fueling the motivation. At worst. We have 2 hours to go getting ready for Tennessee in the Super Regional right here on Josh and Swain.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JVC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying the Rich Eisen Show.
You are so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
But why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have. Then Monday, it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
At ORNL Federal Credit Union, it's easier than ever to purchase your dream home with 100% financing options with no PMI. And with our great rates, it's no wonder ORNL Federal Credit Union is the smart choice for your next home loan. For details about rates and terms, call 800-676-5328. Visit ornlfcu.com or stop by any of our convenient branches today. Rate and term dependent on product chosen. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA.
At Batteries Plus, we know off is not an option. Off is a motorcycle that doesn't start or a phone that won't charge. Life's busy. You're busy. You need to be on the water, on the call, on the road. Batteries Plus has batteries for your car, boat, motorcycle, and more. Plus phone repair, key remote services, and lighting solutions you can rely on. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
Johnson, CFO needs some info for the IPO ASAP.
No problem, boss. Just search the web. Cumulus Digital has helped our SEO big time.
Speak English, Johnson.
Search engine optimization.
SEO, huh? That's A-OK.
CumulusDigital.com. This is WNML AM Knoxville. WNML FM Friendsville. Streaming worldwide on the Sports Animal app and website. 99.1thesportsanimal.com. 99.1 The Sports Animal. The station where the Vols play.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute. No one really knew what to expect from Kristaps Porzingis in the NBA Finals. The Celtics big man missed the last 10 games heading into the series. Not only did he play, he couldn't miss in Boston's blowout win. All the talk coming into the series was about Luka, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. It's one game, but it could be that Porzingis is the surprise factor that puts the Celtics over the top. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts and month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
Josh and Swain, hour number 2 begins. With a little less than 2 hours to go, we will opt out a little early as the Vol Network will take over at 2:45. That's because it will be pre-game time. You want Josh, you want Swain, or you want John Wilkerson to get you ready for Tennessee baseball? We know the answer there. So 2:45, John Wilkerson will take the reins. The GOAT, the best in the country, getting ready for Tennessee and Evansville. He and Vince Ferrar will have you covered this weekend. 2 days of work for John and Vince. Only 2 days of work before travel plans will be made.
That's weird, though, because would you rather be paid for 2 days of work or 3 days of work?
Well,
you'd rather be paid for 3 days of work, but you would rather your team lock up the College World Series bid as soon as possible, too.
Knowing just how hard-nosed John Wilkerson is when it comes to negotiation, my guess is he said, I want to be paid for as many games possible that could take place. That's how John operates.
Well, he should say, I want to be paid for 3 if we win 2.
Right.
Because I'm the GOAT and I'm the best in the country.
Yeah. Which nobody disputes. Nobody disputes. So
could you imagine John Wilkerson walking in Lindsey Nelson Stadium the way Stephen A. Smith walked in to the arena last night?
John just got that strut.
That strut, man. That strut, that stride. Oh, man.
We're kidding, but I have said this, not joking, over the last few years, Tennessee's rise back to the position that it's in, I'm glad that it's brought more attention to how good John is.
Yep.
And I saw Mike Keith a couple weeks ago tweet out, hey, everybody's hearing that best in the country, he's in Knoxville. And he's been in Knoxville, but now more people are catching on because more people are paying attention to Tennessee baseball.
Yeah, spot on. Good point.
Yep. So Tennessee gets ready for Evansville at 3 o'clock, game 1, tomorrow, 11 a.m. You get late breakfast or some brunch with baseball in game number 2, bottom of the third. FSU leads UConn 5-0. We were asked by Randall in the text box, 865-656-9900, to connect with us. I listen regularly but must have missed something. Where did the emphasis on UT Chattanooga originate? That would be a Dan Mullen line, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Dan Mullen was asked about one of his players that was tearing it up. I want to say it was Nick Fitzgerald, who was playing quarterback, and he was asked about where he found, I guess, him, and he said, UT Chattanooga or something like that. And so he said it's so cool, it always stuck with me.
It's a fun way to say it.
UT Chattanooga.
Yeah. The UTC
I
Mocs.
think that's what happened. But, yeah, Dan Mullen was talking about a player on his team, though. It was hilarious.
Evan in the YouTube chat, nobody is forcing you to watch bowl games, people. I'll watch a peanut butter bowl. Give me all the bowls. As we talked to Barrett Salee about too many bowl games. We got the playoff and the bowl game schedules. Evan also added dinger-dongers all day. He's excited for super regional action, which is underway with FSU. UConn game number 2 will be Tennessee and Evansville. Those are the two biggest favorites in their respective series, Tennessee and FSU.
Dan Mullen was asked who he had to beat out in recruiting to get Nick Fitzgerald.
Okay.
And he said, UT Chattanooga.
Well, that's a pretty good find by him.
While smoking a cigar in the press conference.
Mullen's got some personality. And he won some games at Florida. He didn't get them to the level, and recruiting wasn't where it needed to be ultimately in Gainesville. But he knew how to coach. He knew what he was doing.
I miss Dan Mullen in the league, but I understand why he is doing what he's doing, considering the landscape of athletics changing. Like, I would do that, too, if I was him.
Yep. So would I. Do what you want to, and Dan Mullen he's made his money. If he wants to go back and coach at some point, he'll have that opportunity.
Ed Orgeron was so okay with being fired. You mean you're going to fire me and pay me? How much? How quick? Oh, okay, I'll pack my stuff and leave right now. Cool. So Dan is doing what he should be doing. I think he has a really good personality, does a great job on ESPN.
Yep. So we're getting closer. Countdown continues to football season. The baseball season, though, continues for Tennessee to help fill that gap that used to be quite vacant in the months of June and July. So Knoxville hosting the Super Regional again after Tennessee traveled to get to Omaha last year, back in Knoxville to try to close it out. Game 1 this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So baseball, the focus for Tennessee right now, with a little football conversation always in place as well.
Chris Burke, his point about the pitching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically getting more out of these stable of pitchers than what we got from a young, talented group 2 years ago was very, very telling about how brilliant Frank Anderson really is.
The management of what they've done on Friday this season has essentially worked out as well as they could have hoped, right? With Stamos and Kazi. I think a natural thought would be, well, you move Drew Beam up to Friday, but think about him in the position that he's in. So he's your Game 2 starter. So think about this weekend. He's naturally used to going on Saturday. Tomorrow it'll either be a closeout opportunity with the arm you probably trust the most in Drew Beam, or if Tennessee were to get upset in Game 1 and the season's on the line, well, who are you going to trust more to make sure you get to Game 3 in a winner-take-all? It's going to be Drew Beam. So the way that the rotation has been laid out over the season sets up perfectly when you get to this time of year. And having veteran arms that they've trusted, even if they're new, to step in when they lost Russell, who's probably their highest end arm. Like if he had not suffered an injury, he had a chance to have a terrific season. He looked like he was going to be on that track at the beginning. So the way they replaced Burns, replaced the other guys that left after last season, dealt with A.J. Russell's injury, and had a top 5 ERA over the course of the season. Last week, they made a move early in the first game against Northern Kentucky. It was the right move in that game, and were able to then take care of business the rest of the way, going from Stamos to Kazi. I'm sure every decision hasn't been perfect, but I don't think you could have expected any more than what the coaches have done with this pitching staff this season.
Talent matters, but experience matters too. And you have both with Drew Beam, who, when he first got here, surprised Tony Vitello with how ready he was so early. High school quarterback, used to winning, used to competing at a high level, really, really good athlete, but his maturity and how he was able to produce early was a reason why he just wasn't a bullpen guy and was a starter his freshman year. But those lessons that he learned in that 22 season, it's why it's perfect that he is set up to be the starter in game number 2, regardless of the situation. Whether Tennessee wins today or they don't win, which I don't really like you saying that. But
UTSports.com has an if necessary in parentheses on the schedule.
But the font is smaller than the rest of the fonts for a reason.
Right.
Because, like, you have to say it, but you don't really want to say it. You just have to. But that's why the font is smaller.
I'm not in the business of providing bulletin board material for the Evansville Purple Aces.
Okay.
No conflict of interest for you here in this weekend series? Played for Tennessee, you're a VFL, you've given your all, but you also wore number 1. Your dog's name is Ace. Evansville is the Purple Aces.
Nope.
Okay.
Never thought about that. Tennessee is orange. The orange is playing. Nothing else I need to consider. Nothing else matters. It's all about Tennessee. That's it. Don't care. Florida had a player on their team last name Swain. There was a moment where I didn't know if he was my cousin or not. But the whole time, I didn't care if he was or not. He was wearing the wrong colors. So it don't matter, man. Don't matter. It's Tennessee versus everybody else. Tennessee versus all y'all. Tennessee over everything. I got more T-shirt ideas.
7-0 Florida State up on UConn.
Goodness gracious.
They're in the 3rd inning.
Turn on the running clock.
So is this what you expect tonight or this afternoon in Knoxville?
Bases loaded? Oh, yes, I do expect that. Is that okay? Can I have those expectations? Am I allowed to expect a great performance by the number 1 team in the country?
Yeah, you can expect that.
A team full of professional hitters playing at home. Can I expect that? Thank you.
I think that's fair.
Thank you for allowing me to have high expectations, Josh.
Am I allowed to mention, just for context, that Kenton Deverman is a good pitcher for Evansville, left-handed pitcher, freshman. My expectation is that Tennessee's offense will make him look like a freshman because of how good Tennessee is. But he is a good pitcher. He's their best pitcher. If he doesn't get it done tonight, this afternoon again, I don't know how they have a shot.
My expectation is that he won't get it done, and he will want to play for Tennessee next year. Is that okay, too?
So do you want him to do...
Am I pushing the line?
Do you want him to do okay enough so that you can figure out if you want to then recruit him after the game to come to Knoxville?
I don't really care how he does.
Shameful what's happening over there.
Listen, I don't care how he does. Whether he has a good performance, but Tennessee's performance is just a lot better, or if it's just a poor performance today and Tennessee rocks him. Connor Pavoloni's comments where he said Tony has a knack for seeing a player and that player being able to play at a higher level when they get to Tennessee than they did in their previous stop, even without having to watch a lot of film on them. Well, we get up-close personal view of this young man from Evansville. But that's my expectation. You know why? It's because it has happened multiple times.
8-0 Florida State. Base is still loaded, 2 outs. They just had a visit to the pitcher's mound. They're going to leave the lefty in. What do you say during that visit? It's 8-0, third inning. What do you say to him there?
To the pitcher?
You've gotten 8 outs. You got to get 24 because there's not going to be a bottom of the ninth. Hey, we got 16 outs to go here. Can we speed this thing along? We got to get to tomorrow. We can't use everybody today.
Is that why you think he's still in there?
Probably.
I thought you're supposed to take him out. So is it?
Sometimes you just got to ride him.
Sorry, son. Just figure it out. Snap and clear. That's what you should say to him. Snap and clear. What does that mean, Coach? I don't know. Just keep pitching.
63 effort, one pitch at a time. We'll come back. There's anticipation, you might have heard, for Tennessee's quarterback. Another person adding Nico to their upcoming stars list in college football. We'll tell you about that when we come back. We invite you to join us. Call or text in at 865-656-9900 on Josh and Swain.
Everything is more expensive than ever before. Well, except for the sports animal. Always free on the air and on the screen. Always. 99.1 The Sports Animal.
It was time to get a new ride. It was time to get a bigger ride. Sat down with Vol Auto and picked out the right SUV for me and my family. They can do the same thing for you. Whatever car that you're looking to purchase, whether it's a van, whether it's a car, truck, SUV, they have you covered. Not just during the sale, but after the sale as well, because when you buy a car from Vol Auto, you're going to get the volunteer experience. What is the volunteer experience? Well, that is free car washes for life. That's also oil changes for just $9.95. They have 5 area locations to serve you: Lenore City, Sweetwater, 2 in Maryville, 1 on Callahan Drive off the I-75 exit. Volunteer Auto, it is where winners shop.
This has been a paid announcement.
Elevate your products today with Native Nursery, now open to contractors and landscapers. We're your one-stop destination, offering quality wholesale plants, trees, and landscaping materials. We'll even take your leaves and hardscape waste for a low flat rate. If you are a contractor or landscaper, make Native Nursery your go-to location today.
Call or come by and see Ben and Ted. 865-315-0123 and 3473 Louisville Road. 5 minutes from Pellissippi off the Topside Road exit.
The summer is here, and that means weddings are happening all the time. I even got married during a summer wedding back more years than I'd like to count. Hey, this is Heather Harrington. If you are celebrating an anniversary because you too got married over the summer, or you're getting married this summer, celebrate those milestones at TK Wheeler Jewelers. You know, beautiful jewelry never goes out of style, and I love the classics that TK has. Whether you're looking for a diamond engagement ring, a beautiful solid gold wedding band, something simple like a cross necklace pendant with diamonds, TK Wheeler has it all. He stays up to date on trends too, but I'm telling you, when you want that classic jewelry that you are going to keep and wear for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you're going to find it at my jewelry store, TK Wheeler Jewelers. They're located on South Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. It's right there next to the Outback Steakhouse. TK has been in business for years, and he can hook you up. When you want the best jewelry, you want my jewelry store, TK Wheeler Jewelers.
This has been a paid announcement.
Golf season is here, and an Eagle awaits you at Sevierville Golf Club. The very best golf in the beautiful Smoky Mountains is ready for you. 2 18-hole championship courses with breathtaking views, unique layouts, and pristine enough to be named the best maintained public golf course in all of Tennessee. All of this makes for a round of golf you won't soon forget. So challenge your game with all the elements of rolling hills, water, sand, and quick greens. Visit SeviervilleGolfClub.com to book your tee time or to learn more about memberships. Sevierville Golf Club, an Eagle awaits you.
You know, it's hard to believe there was a point in time when having security was more of a status in the world today than it was actually protecting yourself, your loved ones, and your belongings. And then Feliner Security came on the scene. Serving East Tennessee for more than 5 decades with a 24/7, 365 monitoring center, they have the quickest response rate across the city of Knoxville. Do you want affordable security to make sure that you're in the know when you may not be in the know? 544-9964 or online at FelinerSecurity.com.
Come join members of Springdale Baptist Church, New Tazewell, in the journey to rebuild the church lost to fire on June 1st. On Saturday, June 8th, the benefit cruise is open to all motorcyclists and any vehicles. No registration is required. The ride begins in Maynardville at the Food City on Highway 33 and ends in Morristown at the Texas Roadhouse, who will be donating 10% of their sales between 11 and 4 to Springdale Baptist Church. All you need to do is show up at 11 on Saturday at the Food City in Maynardville.
I'm VFL Charles Davis, and it's
85 days until
it's football time in Tennessee.
This countdown to kickoff is brought to you by Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union. People helping people since 1934.
Back on Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. Swain, when you roll into Lindsey Nelson Stadium, I want you to have the same look in your eye as Stephen A. Smith when he walked into Game 1 last night of the NBA Finals. That's what I want to see.
I can't do it, man. That's not me. That is not me. Yeah, I'm on my business now. I do that, but
you stand on it.
I do. I stand on my business, but man, my stroll is not as cool as Stephen A's.
No, whose is?
It's not that serious either.
No, it's not. This is pretty serious to Tennessee fans. How Nico performs this upcoming fall as the starting quarterback for the Vols. He is a big reason why there is anticipation of playoff hopes. The defensive line for Tennessee is a big part of that. We talked about that last hour. Josh Pate with Late Kick, very popular college football show, saw that he believes Nico is one of the next stars that we'll see in the sport. He's a 5-star player coming in, number 1 player in the country by On3 last year. So he came in with a lot of accolades. We saw him get his first start against Iowa in the Citrus Bowl, performed terrifically, better than probably expected in some areas, especially what he was able to do getting into the end zone himself to score touchdowns. So thought we'd bring you this. Josh Pate was in Knoxville a little more than a month ago, visited with Josh Heupel, visited the facilities with some players, and he shared with us what he was sensing, both in conversation, the way people were talking about Tennessee's new starting quarterback. Listen to what Josh Pate told us about a month ago about Nico.
Yeah, what I've learned going across the country is when we're talking about high-level quarterbacks in the NIL era, everyone says the right things about him on air. You can gauge how people really feel about him in the building by how they talk about him off the record and off air. And I'm not saying anyone's out there dogging their quarterback, but a lot of them understand there may be a lot of drama around their guy. It was a heavy NIL situation that got him there, so it's strictly transactionally. It's kind of a mercenary relationship. So it stands out, like when I was at Tennessee last week, like Nico's a high-profile guy. Nico can earn a lot of money, and he's got every reason to have sort of those diva traits about him, and he has none of that. And they go out of their way to make sure you understand that this dude is a big-time player. A lot's expected of him. He gets it. But from a neck-up perspective, Heupel told me we couldn't wire him any better. Like, we couldn't hope to have wired him any better mentally. Doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. Like, he'll make mistakes, but he's made of the right stuff. And it doesn't matter if the guy's got the physical attributes, which we couldn't coach either. If he didn't have what Nico has mentally, we may have a mess on our hands. He said, instead, we've got a shot to do everything we want to do as long as we keep him healthy.
Late Kick host Josh Pate about a month ago on this show, leaving Knoxville, telling us what he took away from talking to folks here and around Tennessee's program about Nico, saying on his own show he thinks that Nico will be a household name in college football.
First and last name or just first name? Household name?
Household name, I would say first name.
Absolutely.
I'd say most folks will stop there.
Absolutely. Now, what stands out about Josh Pate's comments was how Nico is wired. Because how many times have we heard, and the phrase is really overused now, but players are labeled dogs because of their mentality. But that's how you're wired. Sometimes you can work on that trait, you can become a dog, but most of the time you're wired to be that way. Well, Nico is wired to be a humble leader. He's wired to be coachable. And some guys are just not wired that way. Sometimes guys are not wired to always be on the attack. Some guys are not wired to always sick them or be aggressive or try to destroy the opponent. So the fact that Nico is wired the way he is, it's why he's able to play this early. It takes sometimes quarterbacks a while to figure it out because they're not wired the way they should be, and the coaching staff has to rewire them. But Nico is already ready to go mentally. Now it's about helping him when he makes mistakes, not make the same mistakes, because he's going to make mistakes. He's a freshman. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw interceptions. You want those to be in practice most of the time, but when it happens in the game, you correct it as soon as you can.
It doesn't seem like Nico worries about stuff that doesn't matter. Stuff we heard when he got on campus was he got to work. He knew he wasn't going to be the starter right away, but he prepared in case he ended up being the quarterback. If something happened to Joe, he wanted to be ready. But his approach was what you would expect out of a guy that had probably been in the program for a few years in terms of time in the facility, time studying, time trying to learn. He knew he'd have to get bigger. That happens for every freshman coming in, but he knew that coming in. So everything that I've heard about him, I think you've heard about him, was that his work ethic matched that of a guy that had been in the program already, not somebody that was arriving trying to figure it all out.
Very important for Josh Heupel, and he's done this, but there's examples of coaches that have struggled at doing what Josh Heupel has been really good at doing so far and will have to continue to do, and that is how you manage these top-tier quarterbacks that you bring in. I'll give you a couple of examples of guys that struggled with managing multiple highly rated quarterbacks that they brought in. Kevin Sumlin with Kyle Allen and Kyler Murray. Also, when Kirby was a little bit younger in his career, you had a solid quarterback in Jake Fromm, but you went out and got Justin Fields. And I don't think those situations were managed the right way. Maybe the communication could have been a lot better, but when you go out and you bring in Nico and you do everything you can to get him, everyone was wanting to see him as if they were scared that Nico was going to leave. Like he was told that he was going to play his freshman year or have a chance to start, and because it wasn't happening, they were afraid that he was going to leave. There was no worry of that because the communication was on point. That will have to continue because now you got George McIntyre coming in. He will need to be communicated in a way so he understands what he needs to do to have an opportunity to start. And now we had Austin Price on Wednesday. Tennessee is in the lead, it seems like, for the 2026 best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, five-star quarterback Brandon Faison.
Yeah. So
left Knoxville with Austin saying, I think he's going to choose Tennessee, and multiple outlets on 24/7 have had national guys say, I think he's going to Tennessee.
Yeah, so it's easy when you have a senior in Joe Milton and then you have a Nico come in who's a freshman. But now you're stacking Nikos and George McIntyre and the next five-star, the next five-star, the next top-rated quarterback. So it's going to be really, really important to make sure that the communication is on point, and it has been so far.
Household name in college football. That's what Josh Pate believes will be the case for Nico getting ready to take over in a full-time capacity. He already has done that off the field. On the field, you'll see him as a first-year full-time starter for Tennessee, and the potential is very high for Nico. We'll continue the conversation, 865-656-9900. If you would like to join us, call or text in at 865-656-9900. Getting you ready for Tennessee and Evansville in Game 1 of the Super Regional. 3 o'clock start, 2:45 start for Vol Network coverage as we continue on Josh and Swain.
99.1 The Sports Animal congratulates the Tennessee Vols on winning the regionals. Now it's on to the Super Regionals. Go Vols! Super Regionals begin this weekend on 99.1 The Sports Animal. Your station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 99.1 The Sports Animal.
The minute folks step into Dollywood in my Smoky Mountains, I want them to fill their hearts with all the beautiful things in this big old world. Dollywood. Love every moment.
Plan your visit today at Dollywood.com.
The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on the Sports Animal.
Tennessee baseball officially kicks off the Super Regionals this afternoon against Evansville over at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Chris Stamos will be on the mound for the Vols versus Kenton Deverman for the Purple Aces. First pitch is at 3 o'clock with coverage beginning right here on the Sports Animal at 2:45 with the leadoff man. Other college baseball Super Regional actions right now over on ESPN. Florida State is up 8-1 on UConn in the top of the fourth. Other action today includes North Carolina taking on West Virginia at 6 o'clock. And at 7, Kansas State plays Virginia. Tomorrow, the final Super Regional matchups get underway, including NC State against Georgia at noon. At 2 o'clock, Texas A&M hosts Oregon. Also at 2 o'clock, Clemson hosts Florida. And at 6 o'clock, Oregon State travels to Lexington to take on Kentucky. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. I'm Riley Thomas.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley invite you to make a difference in the lives of their club members and the entire community this year. For every dollar invested into the clubs, there's $12.47 of positive economic impact returned to our community. You can learn more and help the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley build great futures by donating today. Visit bgctnv.org. That's bgctnv.org.
Got a small business that no one's heard of except your grandma? Time for a boost. From Cumulus Boost, the affordable way to boost local search engine optimization and help manage reviews. Cumulus Boost helps local businesses improve their online presence so they're not buried by bigger companies in local searches. Get found, get on the map, and get a boost with Cumulus Boost at cumulusboost.com. That's CUMULUS boost.com.
Hi, I'm your annoying debt that follows you around everywhere, ruining your life. Like when you hope to finance that car, not approved. Paying for dinner with a credit card in front of friends, embarrassingly declined. Bills piling up, harassing creditors, and you can't pay me off because the interest is so high, you can barely make the minimum. So what are you going to do? You're stuck with me. Give me your best shot.
Got debt? Knock out annoying with a loan from Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. Now through September 30th, get up to $500 to refinance your existing debt with us. Visit atfcu.com for details. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, your less red tape banking alternative, a place where you belong.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 865-238-4799. That's 865-238-4799. 865-238-4799.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a Father's Day gift from the Home Depot. Because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. For Father's Day, upgrade his gear with the Husky 270-piece mechanics tool set from the Home Depot. Just $99. Perfect in the hands of a pro or a dad. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help.
PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Really a gorgeous day on tap. We got highs near 82 degrees, that lower humidity continuing to filter in this afternoon, and plenty of sunshine. We'll drop back near about 57 degrees, so a very comfortable start to your Saturday. Highs back in the lower 80s. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paige Noel.
Leonard Truck Accessories, the largest accessories dealer in the Southeast. Stocking brands like Real Truck, UWS, WeatherGuard, Lear, Carry-On Trailers, and more. Cover your entire fleet or personal ride. Leonard, your truck, your style. Visit online at leonardusa.com. Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts and month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
They say the best things in life are free. Streaming 99.1, the sports animal proves it. Fair, honest sports conversation from two guys that define credibility. Here's Josh and Swain on the sports animal.
This is Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. Next to VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain, I'm Josh Ford. FSU only gave up one run, but UConn is on the board. Bottom of the fourth, first game of the day, first game of the Super Regional. Florida State up 8-1 on UConn. You can probably guess how the rest of the game will go, but Florida State up big early, 9-1. Now, Florida State that just added a run to the board. So the Seminoles with an 8-run lead. That game is of importance because if Tennessee advances to the World Series, as expected, Tennessee would take on the winner of the Florida State-UConn Super Regional. So likely it will be Tennessee and Florida State to open things up in Omaha. Florida State's good. ACC is well represented in the Super Regional round. North Carolina beat out LSU, Virginia, and those are teams on Tennessee's side. Also Clemson hosting Florida this weekend in the Super Regional.
Tony Vitello, look at what you got us doing.
Watching Florida State, UConn, Friday afternoon baseball games.
How about that? Wow. Man, what an impact Tony Vitello has made on college baseball here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Unreal. Because Josh Heupel came in and did what he did so far. But everyone already loves football. People were already showing up to the games, even when Tennessee wasn't winning at a high level. We saw what Bruce Pearl did at Tennessee. So it's no surprise that you get those sold-out arenas now that Rick Barnes is coaching. But what Tony Vitello is doing, I mean, not only are you winning more, but the renovations and the ticket price changes. I mean, it's hard to get a ticket.
Very difficult. Whew. Prices are rising, and it's still difficult for people to get a ticket.
And he's in line for an extension and a raise. So it's just really remarkable what he's been able to do and the impact he has had on this area with baseball.
Yeah, and spending, managing a budget's a very big topic right now in college sports because of how things are going to change, revenue share. But this would be an example of, even if the sport's not going to make you money, there will be an investment. Doesn't mean that they're just going to pour everything into every single sport. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We just saw news this week that Ole Miss is going to pause what they're doing with the baseball stadium, and that's a program that just won a national championship a couple of years ago. So they care very much about baseball in Oxford. So you have to make smart decisions, but Tennessee's going to invest in Tony Vitello. There's no doubt.
Man, it sends a bad message if you don't. Like, even if baseball is not profitable for you, it still sends a bad message if you don't support a team that is, number one, winning, and number two, there's a significant interest in the sport. When Danny White when he first arrived, he did the block party, right? Well, he had to because so many people wanted to come. And so when you have people wanting to come and want to show interest and want to be a part of it, you can't stop giving Tony Vitello the support he needs to continue to be successful. You can't do that. Regardless of how much it's going to cost you, whether you're profitable, you got to keep pouring into that program. Because if you don't, then whenever you talk about the importance of winning, people are going to look at you as a hypocrite.
Tony Vitello and Tennessee baseball serve as kind of a marketing department for Tennessee athletics.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, man. He sure does. And it sure helps when he has the culture that he has and the environment that he's helped create, because it only helps other programs be able to recruit, being able to bring recruits to the baseball game. You see Tony Vitello at the basketball game, on the sideline at the football games, and the camera finds him. He's meant so much to the athletic department outside just baseball, but with other sports too.
By the way, happy anniversary. Tony Vitello was hired on this day 7 years ago.
I remember that orange coat.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, man, I know he hot. Because it looked hot outside that day. He did his press conference. Clean cut. I'll never forget it.
Yep. That was a beardless Tony Vitello.
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
Yep. June 7th, 2017. Tennessee hired, who's this guy? Tony Vitello, assistant coach from Arkansas.
Oh,
people know who he is now.
Not everybody said it like that. Some people said, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Who is that?
Who is this? I think I'm going to like Tennessee baseball now. That's what some people said. Mm-hmm. But man, he's been great. He's been awesome, and
yeah, Tony's attracted different demos to the ballpark.
Win that championship, he's going to be a rock star. Like he was on the MLB draft coverage before winning a championship. Imagine all the attention and where he's going to be when Tennessee wins a championship. Ooh, he's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, that one was kind of infuriating because it's another example of, well, he's a coach. He's terrific at what he does. He's having tremendous success. And then he just steps up to the microphone in a broadcasting role.
Jealous?
And he's already terrific at it, yeah.
So you are jealous?
Yes. Yes, to be clear.
He's not taking your job. Don't worry about that. You're good.
Well, I'm not worried about that.
I mean, how he made it so.
Yeah, there's no way he'd be willing to do a show with you every day. That takes a special level of commitment, if we're being honest with ourselves here.
That was good.
No, I just, I wish I were as good as him in that position. I've been trying for more than 20 years to be that good. Still trying.
You're almost there, Josh.
Someday.
You're almost there, man. Keep trying. Maybe you'll get to midfield.
Top of the fifth now. UConn at the plate. They've got some work to do. Florida State up 9-1 on UConn.
Yeah, here in about a couple hours, that's the score I want to hear. Coming out of Knoxville. That's what I'm anticipating. I want to see Tennessee start fast. That's what I want to see. Get that crowd going and flowing early. Get him into it early. That's what I love to see, regardless of the sport.
Yeah, the regional was so funny, having to look for things to feel anxiety over. And it's in the fifth inning. It's 3-2. There's a little bit of something there. Although only one team was facing elimination, but I laughed a little bit at, oh man, were some people nervous in that ninth inning on Saturday when they were up 6? They were up by 6 runs. So I don't think there was too much panic.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was nervous.
Maybe nervous about having to stay a little bit longer because the game was going on for a while.
Yeah.
In terms of who was going to win, I think we had an idea on that one.
No one was nervous. Everyone was having a good time. I found myself listening to individuals in the crowd either yell at the opposing team's players, or the umps. Like, I won't say I was bored, but I felt like the game was in hand. So I was like, let me entertain myself and look at some other things that are going on.
Macias, is he behind the plate this weekend? We'll continue the conversation 865-656-9900 if you'd like to join us on this Friday afternoon, getting ready for the start of the Super Regional in Knoxville. 3 o'clock first pitch, 2:45 start for Vol Network. Coverage as we continue on Josh and Swain.
Come join members of Springdale Baptist Church, New Tazewell, in the journey to rebuild the church lost to fire on June 1st. On Saturday, June 8th, the benefit cruise is open to all motorcyclists and any vehicles. No registration is required. The ride begins in Maynardville at the Food City on Highway 33 and ends in Morristown at the Texas Roadhouse, who will be donating 10% of their sales between 11 and 4 to Springdale Baptist Church. All you need to do is show up at 11 on Saturday at the Food City in Maynardville.
Hey, it's Josh. I want to tell you about Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center. This is a 5-star club, part of the Covenant Health family. They have the highest quality everything for you. With the facility, with the equipment, the people that are in place at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center, they will help you reach your fitness goals. You can go through a fitness assessment when you sign up, figure out where you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, and they can help map out a plan for you to hit your fitness goals. Other ways they can help include about 85 group fitness classes that take place during the week. It's included in your membership. There's an extra push for you when you're a part of a class with others, and you can figure out what you like best when you sign up for the classes at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center. If you simply need a gym to get a workout in, to hit your fitness goals that way, they can help you with the plan. They can help you with everything you need, with the equipment, with the space at Fort Sanders. Stop by, check it out for yourself, do a free 3-day trial, and remember, when you sign up, it's month to month, no long-term contracts. Kingston Pike off Pellissippi Parkway. Tell them the Sports Animal sent you to Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
This has been a paid announcement.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE-certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Hello, friends. This is Kevin Frazier with Frazier's Carpet One. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic, or anything for the floor, Frazier's is the name to trust. My great-grandfather Frazier started our flooring business in 1953, and the Frazier family has been proudly covering all of East Tennessee's flooring needs for the more than 70 years since. And you don't stay in business that long without offering value. Frazier's big in-stock selection means buying power muscle, and we pass those savings on to you. Plus, no money down and free financing for 18 months. Only at Frazier's. Call us today, 546-4850, and we'll come to you with free in-home estimates. Everything for the floor from the store you trust more, Frazier's.
You run a great local business. Unfortunately, it's buried on page 15 when people search for your service online. Thankfully, there's Cumulus Boost. Cumulus Boost helps your business increase your online presence. Don't get overshadowed by large corporations when your neighbors need your business the most. You work too hard to go unnoticed. Get a boost with Cumulus Boost today at cumulusboost.com. That's CUMULUS Boost.com.
From the Budweiser studios of The Sports Animal, we are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain, thanks for being with us. Final segment of hour number 2, more than an hour to go with you until Vol Network coverage begins at 2:45. We're here on 99.1 The Sports Animal, AM 640 The Sports Monster. However you're listening to the show, streaming, watching, we're on YouTube on the 99.1 Sports Animal channel. We appreciate you being with us. Tennessee and Evansville this afternoon in Game 1 of the Super Regional. Evan with a message on YouTube. Georgia fans here in Augusta keep telling me Nico is going to be a bust because he's too small. I think these Georgia losers need a third eye, is what Evan says.
What was the weight of Jacob Eason when he came into Georgia? Because, I mean, he's pretty slender now. I'm pretty sure he was really small when he first got there. Now, he didn't have to play early.
Carson Beck?
Yeah. Carson Beck, excuse me. Jacob Eason was a long time ago.
Pretty much every freshman that comes in needs work physically, right? So, yeah, Nico for sure. Nobody's debating whether he needed to add weight, but that's not my biggest concern with him.
It's how you take a hit. It's the decisions you make on when to get hit. Josh Dobbs was really small coming in, but one of Josh Dobbs' biggest strengths was avoiding taking a hit straight on. Now, the Appalachian State defender got him because he jumped. Other than that, we've never seen Josh Dobbs take a hard hit in college. So there's guys that have the ability to not be hit hard, straight on. Alvin Kamara had that at Tennessee. He still has it now. Dylan Sampson has that now. Nico showed that in the bowl game. So along with that and his strength levels increasing, he's gonna be prepared to not get hurt easily. It's football at the end of the day, but if he makes good decisions when he decides to run and he does a good job with his off-season conditioning and strength, he's going to be fine. He's had a strength conditioning program, 1 year of it already. This is his second. He should be okay. And Jaden Daniels, skinnier and took more shots than quarterbacks are supposed to take. And he was fine. He played at a high level.
Yeah, and I'm in no way guaranteeing that he's going to avoid injury. You can't do that with anybody.
You can't do that.
For sure. I mean, Joe Milton, big dude. He took some hits. He got injured in 2021. That's how Hendon Hooker ended up on the field.
He was hurt last year.
That's right.
Yeah, he just played through it.
Yep. But also, aren't those two things kind of separate? Like the idea that it'll be a bust and that he might get hurt. Those can be separate conversations, right?
Yeah, he can get hurt and still not be a bust.
Right. If he's a bust, it would be because of different reasons, not because he's thin.
It's just trying to downplay what Nico can be because you don't want him to be that. That's all that was. Yeah. It doesn't. I didn't expect it to make sense.
You know, it's like the Athlon anonymous quotes we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
There are questions about Tennessee's roster and the team and how they'll perform. We haven't seen any of those questions pointed to the quarterback. The coach's quotes have actually been the opposite. The one we talked about last week. This staff really believes in Nico. They might be right there at the top offensively if he's what they believe. Let's see what they have at wide receiver. The quote this week. I'm not sure if the defense is national title caliber. But, boy, they might have something special at quarterback. Those were the opinions of the opposing coaches in the SEC.
Opposing coaches, the current staff of Tennessee has shown you how they feel about Nico and what they think he can be. I'm not listening to some Georgia fan telling me that he's going to be a bust because he's too skinny.
That's also the beauty of the sport. Opposing fans are supposed to be trying to downplay somebody who's still really good elsewhere. Part of it's the story you tell yourself.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if I've done that.
Right, but I'll bet if we did a poll of Tennessee fans or Auburn fans or LSU fans, we could find a fair share that say, I don't think Jalen Milroe is any good. And I think he's proven at this point he's pretty good. How good? What's his ceiling? I'm still not sure. But I bet a lot of people think Jalen Milroe stinks. You can still, without much trouble, find people that say, Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure.
There's players that Tennessee has has recruited that have committed to Tennessee, that decommitted from Tennessee, that became really annoying, honestly, in recruiting. They went to a different place, and then Tennessee fans were like, I think he's going to be a bust. Because it seemed like that player wasn't focused on the right things. But anytime Tennessee has recruited a really good player and we've missed out late and there wasn't a lot of drama, my first reaction wasn't, oh, well, he's just going to be a bust then. I hope that he's a bust because he did go to my school, but I didn't think he was going to be a bust. Guys that are full of drama during their recruiting process, I tend to say that. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know if his focus is in the right place. He may be a bust. But that comment about Nico from a Georgia fan, that's just what they hope. And they're supposed to hope that. Just like I hope every great player that they sign or get a commitment from is a bust. That's what I hope.
Right. The other side would be weird to say, boy, really pulling for Nico. It'd be great to see the quarterback position lift up in the league.
Yeah. That would be equally as weird if a Georgia fan said that or any other fan of the league say that. But, hey, if you are a SEC first type of person, then you probably would have that line of thinking.
And most thinking are probably just whispering it, if I had to guess. You never know when the whispers might come out.
Yeah, keep that to yourself.
All right, we have 1 hour to go. Not even. 2:45 will be the start of all-network coverage. Chris Burke in our final hour, what he thinks about the Super Regional and the potential of this Tennessee baseball team. Still a lot to get to on Josh and Swain.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
You are so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
Why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have, and then Monday it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
It's officially summer break, yes! And having fun outdoors means tracking more dirt in your home. That's why I suggest calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning to keep your home insanely clean. You know, you can act fast and take advantage of their summer sale for 15% off all cleaning services. That's carpets, that's air ducts, upholstery, area rugs, all 15% off, but it's only for a limited time. That's why you got to mention me, Tyler Ivins of the Sports Animal, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Promo code SUMMERSELL when scheduling online. That's at ZeroResKnoxville.com.
Tyler Ivins from the afternoon show. Let me tell you about my new fence I just got from Tennessee Home. If you came to my house in West Knoxville, I have a beautiful house, but the backyard fence looked like something out of a horror movie. Splits, leaning, skunks, possum, any creature was coming in and out of my backyard. I had to get somebody who was a licensed professional who could come in and give me the privacy that I sorely need. James Anthony checked all the boxes. Give him a ring this afternoon, 865-304-0955, or you can book online. That's at TennesseeHome.us.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-418-3366 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-418-3366. 1-800-418-3366. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Josh Hemphill. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. Contact the Josh Hemphill team right here in Farragut at 865-675-3999.
This is WNML FM Friendsville, WNML AM Knoxville, Cumulus Media Stations, broadcasting worldwide from the Budweiser Studios. We are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Old Trapper, what's your beef? So I've said it before and I will say it yet again. Almost nothing ever lives up to the hype. And Game 1 of the NBA Finals proved that yet again. I mean, some things are worth the wait. That first cocktail at the end of a long week, but some things are not worth the wait. Game 1 was not worth the wait. Not even close. I'm Jim Rome.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a Father's Day gift from the Home Depot. Because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. For Father's Day, upgrade his gear with the Husky 270-piece mechanics tool set from the Home Depot. Just $99. Perfect in the hands of a pro or a dad. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts in month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
This is Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. We're in our final hour. Will be a shortened final hour as the Vol Network will take over at 2:45 for Tennessee and Evansville. They'll begin play at Lindsey Nelson Stadium at 3 o'clock. We appreciate you hanging out with us this afternoon. We have more Tennessee baseball, football, basketball to get to. 865-656-9900 is the phone number. Mark texted in from last segment. Of course, the verdict is still out on Nico. His only significant playing time was against a depleted Iowa defense, was part of the reaction. Another text, Georgia fans have not seen Nico lately. The peanut butter's working, meaning he's added some weight from where he was when he arrived at Tennessee.
For sure. For sure. He wasn't sitting there around not doing anything. He was working just like every other player on the team has worked. And that's how you get the respect of your teammates when you're a quarterback, is you go in that weight room and you work like everybody else. When they start seeing you take shortcuts and not do what they're doing, then that's how they lose some respect for you. But you go in there and you're squatting with everybody else and you're hitting the bench press with everybody else and doing the same exercises. Now, there are a lot of cases where quarterback workout is different. But if your intensity level is like everyone else, man, that's how you build that camaraderie in the locker room and leadership from your quarterback.
Tennessee basketball is now in that process, building the camaraderie, the chemistry, everything that they're going to try to put together to replace last year's team. Personnel-wise, part of who they're trying to replace is Dalton Connect. Saw videos of his workout with the Portland Trailblazers and saw both Seth Davis and Jimmy Dykes publicly praising Dalton Connect, saying, take him, believing he has a good chance to be the top college player in this draft.
Yeah, they said he was the top player in college all year long. Well, I know Jimmy Dykes has said that. Best college NBA prospect. And Don Connect is now proving it once again in those individual workouts.
Yep. Seth Davis tweeted, I think Connect is the best college player in the draft. Jimmy Dykes added, said it all year. He should be the first college player drafted, but they will overthink it because of his age. Dude is a long time, really good pro, and day one ready.
It's not that hard. But sometimes you do have organizations that overthink it and get it wrong. He's right there. He's day one ready, can come in, make shots for you. Day one, mature. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do too. I know you've seen there are a lot of people ragging on this draft class, and I'm not saying that there is a LeBron or a Wembanyama in this class that's going to come out and be that level player, that level superstar. Those guys are also rare.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is we never know. But I look at Dalton Connect and think what these guys do. This guy can walk in the NBA and score right away. He can, if you're a good team, he can be somebody that makes an impact for you right away. I think there's some young talent that has real potential to be good players. Superstars, I don't know about that, but we just never know. Like the Mavericks, they're down a game. They're probably not going to win the finals, but Derek Lively is a rookie who played 1 year in college, and nobody talked about him in last year's draft. He's an impact player for the Mavericks. So Connect would be an example. He's an older player, sure, but he's not 30 years old going into the NBA draft. He had an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. So Connect is an example to me of you can find real value if you're actually doing the work and evaluating these players for what they are. And I think for Connect, he's a guy that has the ability to score at all different levels. His range on his jump shot has to make him attractive to every team.
Yeah. He doesn't have to be a guy that you build a team around. This is not that type of draft. And the spots around the top, 8, 9, 10, those teams already have a star player. There's not a team, honestly, that Dalton Connect be drafted to and go instantly be the number one guy anyways. And that's okay. It's about getting it right, the players you do draft.
We were having a chuckle about an old video that's resurfaced, Stephen A. Smith, with all the talk around Stephen A. He bashed the Knicks at the time for taking Kristaps Porzingis, who was terrific last night, and I know he's not playing for the Knicks anymore, but he's been a really good player. He was a great pick by the Knicks. And all the players, every single one that Stephen A. said they should have taken over Kristaps Porzingis didn't come close to playing at the level of Kristaps Porzingis. I think at least a couple of them aren't even in the league anymore. So that's an example. And then I also bring that up because, a guy that did make a pretty big impact in where he was drafted, Josh Richardson was in that draft. I think we looked at the minutes. He is 6th from that draft in most minutes played. He was the 40th pick in the draft by the Miami Heat, still playing in the NBA, Josh Richardson. So you never know, but just assuming is what really gets you in trouble. Do we know anything here? Is this at least worth watching? Speaking of basketball, news coming out that Purdue basketball signee Cannon Catchings, a top 50 recruit in the 24 class, asked for and was granted his release after signing with Purdue. Catchings is his last name. Mm-hmm. Tamika is his aunt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His mom was a standout player at Illinois, I should point out as well. But Tamika Catchings, a Tennessee Lady Vols legend, her nephew was a top 50 player. He played with Overtime Elite. 6'9", small forward, is now available.
And there's spots right now on Tennessee's roster. So if this is something that materializes, then you have to think that this is something where you see Cannon Catchings being a 4-year player for you. You're set up right now to win, so you're not really expecting him to come in and be part of the rotation. He's kind of more of a future type of player. I wondered the reason why he decided to ask out of his LOI, why he decommitted.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason
Purdue's
is
a
there.
good basketball program.
Yeah, very good.
But Auntie played at Tennessee, was a legend at Tennessee, a legend in the WNBA. I think if you're Tennessee, why not? I mean, you know he comes from a good family. He has a length at 6'9". You have a team right now that's built to win. If you talk to him and he wants to be a part of the culture, he's interested, and he understands that year one, he's not looking to go out there and get those significant minutes. Now, if he earns it like Zakai Ziegler did and then puts another player on the bench, then hey, whatever. You're cool with that. But if you feel like he's someone that could be good for you in the future, roll with it. Because I think this team right now is built to win now. Like, we're trying to find a spot for Jamal Meshack, and he's about to be a senior. So you already have some tough battles with playing time right now. So adding someone else just will make it tougher if that player is expecting to play right now. So I would think he's a long-term guy.
By the way, one other note, I don't know if you've been following this guy, but another signee in Purdue's class, his name is Daniel Jacobson. He's playing right now with USA under-18 basketball. Do you know how tall he is?
6'9", since Kenyon Kitchens is 6'9", and we were talking
he is
about
7'3".
Oh, my goodness.
So Purdue's got another 7-foot-plus big guy coming into the program.
I think he just drew 3 fouls.
It's a 7-foot factory there at Purdue. The next one, Daniel Jacobson. So Tennessee fans,
how much does he weigh?
Knowing he's got some weight to put on, as often is the case. But Tennessee fans, if you know you're going to see Purdue in the NCAA tournament the next 3 years, guaranteed.
Probably.
So get ready. There's going to be another 7'3" big man lining up for the Boilermakers. We'll come back. Chris Burke on Tennessee, what he has seen from this team, what Tennessee staff has done with the pitching staff to get the Vols to this point, playing in the Super Regional with a chance to get back to Omaha. That when we come back right here on Josh and Swain.
That's the ball game. Tennessee has swept the field in the Knoxville Regional. Tennessee says hello win column. Tennessee says hello Knoxville Regional title. And Tennessee is going to be eating good in the neighborhood as the Volunteers will stay home to host the Super Regional. The final score, Tennessee 12, Southern Miss 3. This is Tennessee baseball.
Your station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 99.1, the Sports Animal.
Warm weather's here, and it's time to get outside and enjoy the privacy and the comforts of your own backyard, but you don't have a privacy fence. Or perhaps you need to upgrade your fence, as I just recently did with Tennessee Home. When contacting Tennessee Home, you're looking for somebody who is a licensed contractor who has one of the most experienced teams that East Tennessee has to offer. Over 100 yards for me and the new pup, Howie, and I've been satisfied since the final post went in the ground. 865-304-0955. That's 865-304-0955. We're online at TennesseeHome.us.
If you're a die-hard sports fan looking to add some magic to your collection, look no further than Sports Treasures, Knoxville's oldest and most trusted sports card and memorabilia store for 35 years at 4819 North Broadway in Fountain City. From exclusive events like meet and greets and trading card tournaments, it'll all bring out the competitor in you. Visit Sports Treasures today or check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Collect the memories, cherish the moments only at Sports Treasures, your ultimate sports collector's destination.
John Wilkerson here, voice of UT Baseball, with Coach Tony Vitello talking about another hometown favorite, Food City. Their produce specialists work directly with farmers to get the freshest produce.
Talk about a home field advantage.
And it's the only place in town with the top quality certified Angus beef brand. Coach, the Vols look good, but how's your game at Food City?
My grocery game is unstoppable. Play ball! Food City, the official supermarket of UT Baseball.
Hello, friends. This is Kevin Frazier with Frazier's Carpet One. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic, or anything for the floor, Frazier's is the name to trust. My great-grandfather Frazier started our flooring business in 1953, and the Frazier family has been proudly covering all of East Tennessee's flooring needs for the more than 70 years since. And you don't stay in business that long without offering value. Frazier's big in-stock selection means buying power muscle, and we pass those savings on to you. Plus, no money down and free financing for 18 months. Only at Frazier's. Call us today, 546-4850, and we'll come to you with free in-home estimates. Everything for the floor from the store you trust more, Frazier's.
We've got a great Father's Day idea. Pick up a bottle of Bunratty Irish Whiskey, an award-winning premium blend, which makes the perfect gift. They're having special promotions where you can taste for yourself, and they're going to have a Father's Day card with an easy recipe for a Bunratty Whiskey old-fashioned and gift bag. Boom.
Father's Day shopping? It's done. Again, head to their Facebook page for info. Welcome home to Bunratty Irish Whiskey. 43% ABV, imported by Camelot Importing, Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
For links to where and when events are happening, search them on Facebook at Bunratty Irish Whiskey.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Always on, always free. Stream us free via the app, your smart speaker, your favorite streaming service, or the website at 991thesportsanimal.com. The hottest sports stories of the day broken down to their very core with honest, informed opinions. Here's Josh and Swain on The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. If Tennessee gets to Omaha, as expected, first game would be against the winner of Florida State and UConn. Game 1 in their Super Regional. FSU up 9-1, top of the 6th. UConn does have the bases loaded. 2 outs, full count. If UConn has any hope, I would recommend taking advantage of the 3 runners on base right now. So we'll continue to monitor that for you. Foul ball. So staying alive, 3-2 count. In the first hour, we began the show talking to Chris Burke, all-time great Tennessee baseball player, VFL, and a great analyst for ESPN. And we talked to him about the Super Regional, Tennessee's run to this point this season, what he has seen from this Tennessee baseball team to this point.
You guys, man, I mean, hard to argue with anything you've seen from this team. Very consistent, very businesslike. They've weathered some storms throughout the course of the year. They've won in some non-traditional ways, especially on the mound, that I think is pretty fascinating. And offensively, they're as scary as about any team that college baseball's had to offer in a while. So, they got a ton of things going for them, and I expect them to be playing in front of a very, very rowdy home crowd environment. So, pretty good to be a Tennessee ball right about now.
Ideally, you want to be the best team at the end of the season. At what point, Chris, did you notice that Tennessee was the best team in the season? Was it before they had the preseason ranking number 1, or was it afterwards? When did you know that Tennessee was the best team?
I think when they went and won that series at Kentucky, that's when I really felt like, okay, because if you look at that series, they could have easily won the first game, and then they won the second game pretty handily, and then the third game was, they were down and things weren't going great. Then they ended up, Christian Moore just willed them to victory, but the offense was just relentless. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty loud win to go win that thing on the road. And then to a degree, I mean, they had nothing left to prove, but just even the way they won the SEC tournament, where it was kind of like, I just feel like their position player group is competitive and so talented that, they don't know how to not play to win. They don't know how, there was this kind of vibe that they needed to just pack it in and go back to Knoxville and get ready for the regionals. And those dudes are like, no, we're here. I think we'll win this thing. And I think there was a lot of positives that came out of that with some of the pitching performances, especially from Phillips and Loy, that unfolded throughout that week. And so, I just think anytime you win 9 straight series to finish the SEC schedule, you have a team that has a lot of different ways they can win ball games, and they've just continued to prove that from the SEC tournament through the regional last weekend.
We're talking to Chris Burke, former Tennessee standout VFL analyst with ESPN. What is the focus here over the next few days? As Tennessee's at home, Evansville is an incredible story to be in this position for Tennessee to make sure that it does what it needs to get to Omaha.
What's the focus? Is that the question?
Yeah, what does Tennessee need to focus on this weekend to make sure that it wins this series?
I just think Tennessee needs to make sure they don't try to do too much at the plate. I think the Evansville pitching staff is largely built on spin. They like to spin the ball. They like to slow the ball down. They like to curve the ball, and it's a Tennessee offense that is going to be juiced up playing in front of their home building. They're 2 wins away from going to their 3rd College World Series in 4 years, and they just need to treat each at bat for what it is, which is an opportunity to get a good pitch to hit. And if it doesn't come to pass, trust the next guy to do the job. So I think it's one of those exercises in patience for this Tennessee offense to not allow Evansville to get them to chase. Because I think if they make the Evansville pitching staff throw the ball in the strike zone, I think they're going to have plenty of success offensively.
You've probably never answered this question before, Chris, but what is the main difference between this year's team and the 22 team that everyone thought was going to just walk away and win it, was dominant throughout the season?
Yeah, I haven't answered that question. I would say the biggest difference is this team has not put a bullseye on their own back. There's always a bullseye on your back when you're number 1 national seed. Certainly Tennessee's built themselves into one of the premier programs in the country. So there's naturally a bullseye that comes with that. But that team in 22 played with so much fire and so much swagger that they were so much bigger from an audience standpoint than just the college baseball world that they, I don't think intentionally, I think unintentionally, it just put a bullseye on their own back that got pretty heavy, I think, as the season wore on. And, that team also was – the pitching on that team was, Blade Tidwell, that was only a second-year player and was coming off injury. Dolander, who was a second-year player but first year in the SEC. And then Burns and Beam, who were freshmen. And I think, to be fair to that team, I think their pitching was not nearly at its peak the last month of the season relative to the first 3 months of the season. Whereas if you look at this year's pitching staff, man, they really look rock solid here down the stretch. And so while both teams had incredibly talented offenses, I think this pitching staff, while not as talented as the 22 staff, is performing at a higher level currently.
Chris Burke with us. What do you think about what Tony Vitello, Frank Anderson have done to develop the pitching staff to this point, especially after losing A.J. Russell early in the season?
I mean, it's remarkable. I was there when they decided to go with Stamos as an opener and stick with Causey as kind of the main guy on Friday nights. And to be honest, I think part of the reason, the whole opener thing was just trying to change things up. But I think a big part of sticking with Causey was they didn't have a lot of other options. And so, part of it was done out of necessity. There just wasn't a ton of options in the pitching staff at that point in time. And so, Causey has really delivered and been, he leads the Southeastern Conference, one of the top in the country in wins, and has just pitched so incredibly consistently. And then, Drew's done his thing in game 2. And then, Xander Sechrist, again, I think if they were being honest, in a lot of regards, got the ball out of necessity. He was just kind of the next man up. But the way that he and Nate Snead have handled the lion's share of the innings on game 3, very unique. And so you really can't say enough about the way Tony and Frank have managed the pitching. And, I just think at the end of the day, Frank has proven year in and year out that his pitching staffs throw strikes. That's just all there is to it. And you throw strikes with quality stuff. And I think, honestly, a part of this year's story is I think the defense has played very well. I mean, it's not a perfect defense. They've had their moments, but, Blake Burke has become one of the best first basemen in baseball. Christian Moore has become a very good second baseman. Dean Curley's done fantastic. Amix had his moments at third, but for the most part, it's been rock solid. Cal Stark has been incredible behind the plate, and I think Tennessee's outfield defense is as good as anybody's. And that's a big part of the pitching staff story is how well they've defended behind them.
If Tennessee is the best team, and I know Evansville is the biggest threat because it's the team that Tennessee's playing right now, but behind Tennessee, who are some teams that you see could give Tennessee some issues if Tennessee were able to advance to the College World Series?
Well, I think the team they would play first, if chalk holds, which would be Florida State, and they probably have the nastiest arm left in the tournament from a starting pitcher standpoint, Jamie Arnold, and I believe that game's already started. You guys should probably check it out with your third eyeball. Like, Jamie Arnold is going to be a top probably 5 pick in next year's draft. He is nasty. And then Florida State has 2 first-rounders in their lineup, Cam Smith and James Tibbs, that hit back-to-back. So it's a very talented Florida State team that is the number 8 national seed. So if both Tennessee and Florida State advance, they'll play each other first game of College World Series. And then the other 2 teams on their side, again, if chalk holds, would be Virginia and North Carolina. And, man, Virginia that program is made of the right stuff. Like, Virginia is just a rock-solid program with a really talented position player group. If you gave me another choice besides Tennessee's position player group of all the teams left, I'd probably take Virginia's. They're that good. The pitching's not dominant by any means, but, man, they can really play the game. And it's a Virginia team that's been to Omaha 2 the last 3 years. So, I think Tennessee's side of the bracket, if chalk holds in Omaha, will be very interesting. And, if you're a Tennessee baseball fan for a while, West Virginia in their first ever super regional, coached by Randy Mazey, who was our pitching coach with the 2001 team, and they're playing North Carolina. So that's a super regional worth watching because, in my job, I'm not supposed to root for teams, but I'm certainly pulling for Coach Mazey. That would be a really neat story.
VFL and ESPN analyst Chris Burke earlier in the show with a good breakdown on what Tennessee has done to get to this point in the Super Regional. That was in the first hour of the show. The update in Florida State UConn, they're up 11-1. Seminoles are going to win today. They're likely headed to Omaha as Tennessee is expected to do so as well. In the second game of the day, getting things started at 3 o'clock, it'll be Tennessee at Lindsey Nelson Stadium against Evansville. We'll get you ready for Vol Network coverage taking over at 2:45. We'll come back for one more segment coming up next right here on Josh and Swain.
Now you can text the sports animal. Try it out. 865-656-9900. Text us. 865-656-9900. That's 865-656-9900 to text the sports animal. The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on the sports animal.
Tennessee baseball begins yet again their road to Omaha this afternoon in the Super Regionals against Evansville. First pitch is at 3 o'clock with Chris Stamos on the mound for Tennessee versus Kenton Deverman for the Purple Aces. First pitch is just in about 30 minutes, with coverage beginning in about 15 minutes at 2:45 with the leadoff man right here on the Sports Animal. Currently over on ESPN Other College Baseball Super Regionals, Florida State has 11-1 lead over UConn. Tonight, 2 more games get underway. At 6 o'clock, West Virginia takes on North Carolina, and at 7, Virginia hosts Kansas State. Other Super Regionals get underway tomorrow, including NC State versus Georgia at 12 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, Texas A&M hosts Oregon. Also at 2 o'clock, Clemson takes on Florida. And at 6 o'clock, the final Super Regional get underway this weekend. Oregon State travels to Lexington to take on Kentucky. Have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. I'm Riley Thomas.
I remember when I was a little boy and every day we had fresh milk delivered by our friend Fred. You see, Fred was our milkman, and he always had a smile on his face. He went about his business with joy, and he served his customers well. He would deliver our milk ice cold in those glass bottles and right to our doorstep. It seems like that good old-fashioned, joyful service is a thing of the past these days. Well, not here at the Bed Store. We believe that when you choose to buy your mattress from us, that we should make your entire experience a great one. When we deliver your bed, we literally roll out a red carpet to make sure that we show your home the utmost respect, and we put little mints on your new pillows. We go over, above, and beyond because you deserve that kind of old-fashioned tuck-you-in service. Right now at the Bed Store, you can get well-tucked into any Tempur-Pedic mattress and get up to $300 in free sleep accessories, and we'll deliver that Tempur-Pedic locally for free. Come see us at any one of our 8 convenient area locations today or shop with us at bedstore.com. The Bed Store, well, we'll even tuck you in.
The Sportsocracy has all your football prep. Join Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green for college and pro picks, fantasy football, and DFS plays, injury updates, and all the top storylines. Find them at thesportsocracy.com. The Sportsocracy, brought to you in part by Ingles Supermarkets.
Once upon a time, the Sultan of SWAT called his shot, hit a home run, and everybody's remembered it forever. Once upon a time, I called my shot on a number 1 pick. People have remembered that for years. This week, I'm calling my shot again, and you can use it to make a lot of money. I'm Jeremy Green of thesportsocracy.com, and this is Mullet's Money Making Minute, brought to you by Ingles Markets. The Oxford definition of a perfect storm is a rare combination of adverse factors. This is not one of those, but it is a rare combination of factors. The Heisman Trophy, every year we go in with favorites and a couple guys that, maybe they could win it if everything goes right. This year, I have one. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss. Perfect combination of factors because that team is better than people think. Jackson Dart is better than people think, and nobody's going to see it coming outside of me and you, and that's what I'm here for. Plus 1,600. I'm taking it right now. For more, find us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mullet out.
Hey Knoxville, it's your local State Farm agent, Josh Hemphill. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. Contact the Josh Hemphill team right here in Powell at 865-512-7542.
You are losing money if you do not add a deck before you sell your home. That's why you need to call James Anthony, 304-0955. You can also see what you can do online. That's at TennesseeHome.us. We're talking 20 years of experience and not just squares and rectangles. If you're looking for somebody who can bring customization to your home, call James Anthony at Tennessee Home, 304-0955, 304-0955, or TennesseeHome.us.
Need a new roof? You need Mo Shingles. Need new siding? You need Mo Shingles. Mo Shingles, locally owned and operated with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and over 100 5-star reviews. Free estimates, moshingles.com, 770-0506.
Hello, friends. This is Kevin Frazier with Frazier's Carpet One. With interest rates reaching their highest in 20 years, Frazier's is primed and prepared to help you get those new floors without stress and anxiety. We make it easy with no money down and free financing for 18 months. That's what 70 years and 4 generations of expertise and relationships can do. And we do it to help you. Plus, as always, free in-home estimates, free in-home shopping, and free in-home design consultation. We'll bring the best-selling carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl tile, and more to you, all with no money down and free financing for up to 18 months. Call Frazier's today at 546-4850 for a free in-home estimate. Everything for the floor from the store you trust more, Frazier's.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Highs are near 82 degrees this afternoon with a whole lot of sunshine. We got that lower humidity, so it's feeling much better out there. That lower humidity allows temperatures to drop back into about those upper 50s by Saturday morning, back into lower 80s with a stray rain chance Saturday afternoon. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paige Noel.
Want to hit the road in something new? Then head to Freedom Motors, where you'll find the selection that you want with guaranteed financing. Freedom Motors on Maynardville Pike and Halls.
Keep freedom rolling on down the line.
Start your fitness journey with no long-term contracts and month-to-month memberships at Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
Hey, this is VFL Joshua Dobbs, and we're counting it down. It's just
85 days until
it's football time in Tennessee.
This countdown to kickoff is brought to you by Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union. People helping people since 1934.
Final segment of Josh and Swain. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks to Chris Burke joining us to help get ready for the Super Regional. Barrett Salee in the first hour talking college football as well. We talked about the ESPN FPI, Tennessee number 9 in the Football Power Index when that was updated earlier this week. Swain, it's been a fun day, fun week with the Super Regional. Starting up at 3 o'clock, Vol Network coverage will begin in 9 minutes.
Only one way to cap it off. Let's watch Tennessee go win.
That is the plan. 3 o'clock start, 11 a.m. tomorrow. So just after lunchtime, Tennessee should be making plans to head to Omaha.
Or during brunch.
Perhaps during.
Yeah, so you can put on the TV and enjoy some brunch if you are watching the game on television.
So Tennessee looks to continue its run tonight and tomorrow. Every day we hand out attaboys and attagirls, thanks to the Native Nursery for Contractors and Landscapers. Swain, our attaboy today is somebody who is ending his run. One of the most popular shows for 4 decades plus, Wheel of Fortune, will finish with Pat Sajak's final episode tonight. Wheel of Fortune will continue, I should clarify there. Pat Sajak's run ends tonight. 41 years as the host of one of the most popular television shows, one of the great hosts that we've seen. Pat Sajak, 41 years as the host of Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I grew up on Wheel of Fortune. Watching so many people come in there and win, and the excitement of spelling out the puzzle correctly. Different celebrities go in there when they've had celebrity games. 41 years, that's a long time to be doing one thing, but, man, he did it at a very high level. I'm going to miss him, man. I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, more than 8,000 episodes, 41 seasons of Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak is 77 years old, and it's been quite a run.
77?
Yeah, I don't know why he's stopping, but he's decided it is time.
I haven't watched it so long. Is Vanna still there?
She is.
So
she joined in 1982. You're like a brother to me, she said on the show To Him, has become a lifelong friend. Ryan Seacrest is taking over as the host.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, he might.
He doesn't have anything else to do either.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Find Ryan Seacrest everywhere.
Man.
So, an attaboy to Pat Sajak. 41 seasons, 8,000, more than 8,000 episodes of Wheel of Fortune. We hand out attaboys and attagirls every day thanks to the Native Nursery for Contractors and Landscapers, your one-stop shop for plants, trees, and landscaping materials, including boulders, flagstone, mulch, and more. Located at 3473 Louisville Road, just 5 minutes from Pellissippi off the Topside Road exit. The Native Nursery for Contractors and Landscapers. Great local company with the Native Nursery. So on a Friday, that can be on your what-to-watch list as well, whether live or hit that DVR. Set the record button for the final Wheel of Fortune with a lot of baseball focus. 3 o'clock start, Tennessee against Evansville. And because Tennessee's in it, that's created, I think, more interest for local fans of what happens in the other games because of potential opponents for Tennessee in the College World Series.
Yeah, Vanna White's going to be the co-host until through the 2025 and 26 season. So,
okay.
But yeah, man, we were paying attention to the Florida State UConn game, and it got out of hand. It's 11-1.
Yeah, they hit another 2-run shot after getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the 6th inning. So Florida State is cruising today. We'll need to win one of the next two to get to Omaha and would be the opponent of Tennessee when the Vols win 2 games this weekend.
So 2 series to keep up with, your own and what's going on there in Tallahassee.
Can the Dallas Mavericks make this series interesting, or did the Celtics show last night, assuming catastrophic injury, they're going to win the NBA Finals? Just one game.
One thing I hope we have learned is not to overreact to one game in the playoffs, because the other team is going to make adjustments. The T-Wolves won 2 games in the Western Conference Finals, blew out the Nuggets, and we thought they were going to sweep the Nuggets, and the Nuggets came back, and that series went 7. You just never know from game to game. Kyrie had a really off night. I don't expect him to have another off night. Luka wasn't himself because the Celtics started fast. You're going to see some adjustments made. So I think it's too early to suggest that the Celtics are just going to run away with this thing, even though, hey, they do have the 1-0 lead, and now they just need 3 more wins.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. The Porzingis part of it, though, that we discussed yesterday, if he comes back and looks good, that's a big-time problem. He came back and looked good.
I mean, he looked better than good.
Right.
That was the best he's ever played in a big-time environment. I mean, he goes to the Knicks. They were not big contenders, and then he went to the Mavs. It didn't work out, and then he went to the Wizards, and man, that was like playing in the wilderness. This is the first big stage, and he aced it, but can he do it again? And if he can, if he plays this way the entire series, then it's a wrap.
Well, his skill set changes so much of what they're able to do. He takes pressure off Al Horford, who was effective last night, so that's a big part of it. But Game 2, Dallas will see if they can even things up after Boston made easy work of Dallas in Game 1. It looked easy for Oklahoma. They win another World Series. That's a 4-peat, 4 straight national championships for the Oklahoma softball team against Texas, which was the 1 seed. Both teams, of course, coming to the SEC. So SEC softball, it's going to go up another notch, multiple notches probably, with Oklahoma and Texas coming to the league.
Won't get harder for any other sport than the softball with Texas, Oklahoma entering the SEC.
Tennessee looks to make easy work of Evansville. Game 1, it's a big one. Pressure is on the other team. If you can get Game 1, that will be Tennessee's focus with the 3 o'clock start. So first pitch coming up in less than 20 minutes. We appreciate you hanging out with us today. The Rye Master, Riley Thomas, stepping in to produce for us today. We appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Josh and Swain returns Monday at noon. Coming up next, John Wilkerson, Vince Ferrara have you covered with Tennessee baseball. Game 1 of the Super Regional, Tennessee and Evansville, right here in Knoxville. Thanks for hanging out.
Hi, this is Pat with ProSource Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you have a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me, 865-500-3711. I pay cash and close as quickly as you'd like. I buy houses in any condition, any